right, are live. Hey everybody, thanks for jumping in.
Mark.
We're going to be doing a playtest of Stewpot. Stewpot's a game that Evil Hat's going to be publishing. So they put out a call for playtesters. I played it before and it's great. And I wanted to play with some folks I haven't played this with before or I haven't played with in a while. Just do a round of introductions. I don't think everyone knows everyone. I'm Mark. I go by he or them. I've been playing games for a very long time. I know all of you from various places. And yeah, I do this on stream at least once a week. And I'm looking forward to doing it with y'all. Let's get Adam.
Sure, I'm Adam. He, him. I am another sort of person who's been playing role-playing games for a very long time. I have a stream myself where I occasionally stream role-playing games, by which I mean I pretty much exclusively stream Thousand-Year-Old Vampire. Nice. And I'm half of the Tabletop Hot Dish, which is where you can find us on Twitter or Twitch or Mastodon under that, and we're a company that'll get your game from your brain onto paper, all the steps in between. I'm excited to be here. I don't think I've met any of you in person since for at least a decade.
Yeah, I think Adam met in person at Gen Con like 12 years ago.
Yes.
Cool, awesome, thanks. Let's get Morgan.
Hi, I'm Morgan, she, her. I know Mark because I think I'm related to you through marriage. And that's how I know Mark.
We are not married, but
we are not married. People through people, 6 degrees, Kevin Bacon's in there somewhere. I have been playing role-playing games for a little while. Right now I'm in a D&D game and I'm running the D&D beginner's box for another group. So that's my experience.
And Ryan.
Hi, I'm Ryan, he, him. And I know Mark through improv. I've been face to face with Mark many, many times and been on stage with him many, many times. And I've been playing role-playing games since like 1978. So, but off and on, you know, not continually since 1978.
Okay.
But during the pandemic, I kind of got back into some things, played a D&D campaign and especially the online stuff. And Mark and I had what was that game?
We were playing Dungeon World for a while, I think.
Yeah, Dungeon World, because we had some friends who'd never played before, and so I kind of jumped in with them. And Jordan, we got him started, and Jordan is now crazy RPG man, which I knew would happen. So that's great. And yeah, so my 2 little kids are in bed, so let's do this.
Nice.
Man.
Cool.
I suddenly feel super young, and I'm out of uniform. I have no glasses. I'm sorry, guys.
You're fine.
It's all right.
I got lasers shot in my eyes, so I don't need glasses anymore. So I'm out of uniform.
Good for you.
I could do that, but I would still need glasses. So I'm not gonna do it.
There's some surprising rustling in the background behind me. That is my dog who is playing with some new toys and running around behind me.
Okay.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Morgan, the D&D campaign I played during the pandemic had 2 non-binary teens in it, so I don't. You're not the youngest person I've played with lately. So don't worry about it.
Okay. I'll try to keep my youthfulness to a minimum. You know.
No, bring it.
I won't bring up all them TikToks and whatever the kids are doing these days.
Cool. Let me talk a little bit about the game. We do something called CATS at the top of a lot of games. It's concept, aim, tone, and setting. The concept, y'all know, this is we're going to be playing retired adventurers running a fantasy tavern. The aim of the game is to just tell some fun stories, doing that, going from basically seasoned adventurers with adventure skills to folks who have sort of settled down into the town. So the tone is kind of cozy fantasy, lighthearted, funny, Probably won't get dark at all, but there's been some like nice heartfelt moments in games I played before. So tone varies. And the setting we're gonna be making up together. It's generic fantasy, so whatever we decide to make it is what it's gonna be. Speaking of stuff that will or will not be in a setting, we're also going to be using some standard safety tools that I like to use. First one is, in all games we play, is the open door policy. Basically, that means that for anytime, for any reason, you decide that you are not into this, for any reason, you don't have to tell us. You can drop out, or if you need to take a moment, step away, that's great. Just let us know. That applies to me as well. If I need to peace out, I will. I'll try to let you know. If something happens and I'm gone for 15 minutes and you haven't heard from me, assume that something has happened to my internet or my house or the city. Who knows? And I won't be back. But cool. So anyone can take care of themselves anytime. Your players are always more important than the game. We'll also be using, some people call it the X card. It's actually called holds in this, which I think I like a lot better, coming from theater stuff. Basically, if anything in the game comes up that you don't want in the game or want to take back, it's not cool with you, you can just say hold, and we will stop and either rewind, exclude that content, anything from, bad triggering stuff to like, hey, don't name this character this name because this is an ex of mine or whatever. So that's always open. And thirdly, we have our lines and veils, which are on the character keeper. I added a safety tab, copied over from my Between game. The Between is a horror game, and so there's a lot more stuff on there that may not apply to Stewpot, like cannibalism and eye injuries and whatnot. But there's a lot of stuff on there. So lines are basically things that we don't want in the game at all. We're not going to see them. They don't exist in the game universe. My standard lines are homophobia, transphobia, racism, sexual assault. Those are not in the games that I play at all. They don't exist in those worlds. Veils are things that do exist in the world, but we're not going to see on screen. So I have a standard veil on torture generally. Torture exists in the world. We don't need to see it played out on screen, usually, depending on the game. Definitely not for Stewpot. And there's also an ask first column. So if there's something that you're not sure about, what do we have there? Bullying I have on ask first. So that might happen on screen. Just make sure if that comes up, ask the person or ask the group to see if that's there. I also have an interest column. So if anyone's like especially interested in dental horror or whatever, we can include that. And lines and veils go in that direction. So if something's lined out, it's lined out for everyone. You can't go back. So take a minute to look at that tab. If you have trouble finding it, let me know, and see if there's anything there. And I will make sure that I'll try and keep an eye on it during the game. And again, this is also not written in stone. If something else comes up, something that's not in there, you can also add stuff. I don't like catfish or whatever for some reason, and that comes up. I forgot to put it on. We can put a veil on catfish, and that's fine. How does everyone feel about what's on the lines and veils right now?
Seems
Good
pretty
to
good to
me.
me.
Crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crap already. Ugh.
For some reason, I think it's sort of a little bit odd. I didn't think I would be asking for this, but can we veil like harm to pets? Would that be
absolutely?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. We actually have that as a line in our Between game. So that's yeah, totally cool.
Yeah. I got to tell you, stuff has changed for the better since '78.
Yes, for sure.
Well, I wasn't around, so yeah, of course.
That must be it.
Definitely for the better.
I have a question.
Yeah,
real
go
quick.
for it.
So you mentioned you have lines through homophobia, transphobia, racism, whatever, but there's not one for slurs, which I kind of assumed would fall under that
Um,
kind of? What
yeah,
are we
so
talking
that
like
could be,
fantasy slurs?
Fantasy slurs, like
Okay.
you know, like,
Knife ears.
hair feet or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, those hairy feats and all
Yeah.
their partying.
But if we don't want to put those in there, we don't have to. That's totally cool.
Hey.
I'm
if
fine
we-
with fantasy ones, but I prefer not real one.
Yeah,
world
absolutely.
ones. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd bully Hobbit all day. What
Hey
are they
now,
gonna do about it?
hey now.
Awesome. Cool. So the game. I'm just going to read from the introduction, so folks on stream can get a handle on what we got. This should be in the book that you have. If you don't have a copy of the book already, it's in the playtest materials. It's linked on the sheet in the notes tab. So introduction. You know the feeling all too well. Stumbling through a thick forest, living off stale rations. Let me bring my microphone down here. You know the feeling all too well. Stumbling through a thick forest, living off stale rations, unable to get a full night's sleep. When you finally arrive at the next town, the tavern is there, where you find all the comforts of civilization that you've sorely missed. We've all been adventuring for a while now. It's a tough job, and as time goes on, it doesn't get any easier. Many adventurers retire to run taverns where they offer shelter, food, and advice to a younger generation. That's what we've all decided to do together. So Stewpot is a story of a tavern run by party of former adventurers. It's about hanging up our weapons, selling off our armor, and integrating back into society. We'll tell the story together using a collection of mini games that represent different parts of running the tavern and living in town. Cool. One other safety thing that is built into the game that I didn't mention is breaks. So basically every 3 games will have an opportunity for a break. It is technically mandatory in the rules. We can check in and say, hey, does everyone want to take a break? If everyone's like, no, let's fucking do this. We don't have to. But breaks are good. And we'll probably be taking like a 5 like at the top of every hour, just so folks can do what they need to do with their regular bodies. Cool. So in the character keeper, let's go to the tavern tab, and we're going to build our tavern together. So the tavern and the area around it is central to the whole game. We'll be working here, but we'll have time off for things like festivals and whatnot. And so we get to build this, both the tavern and the setting around it together. So let's talk about what we want. The 2 main things we want to decide are the location and environment. So are we in a big fantasy city and there's a bunch of other taverns and a bunch of people all around? Are we like a way stop somewhere in the woods? Are we on a floating rock that only birds visit? I don't know. Anything could happen. Yeah, so anyone have any initial feelings or thoughts of what kind of city/tavern they'd like to have?
I'm partial to big cosmopolitan fantasy city, like with all kinds of different races and all kinds of different crazy stuff happening, but I'm flexible. That's just my first thought. So
I'm down with that.
Okay.
Cool.
How about you, Adam?
I don't know. I was thinking something like on the road.
Okay.
Like maybe like between 2 big cities or something.
I was just thinking the same thing. Let's do that. Let's do
Maybe
that.
it's
Are you
like
cool with
last
that,
stop
Morgan?
outside of a big city.
Yeah.
Like in between 2 big cities.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh yeah,
awesome.
we're the rest stop.
Yeah, maybe the cities
Check it
have
out.
like
Stretch
some
your
kind
legs.
of, maybe they could have some like kind of conflict between them or something.
Ooh,
Like maybe
that's
not like
nice.
full on war, but like some kind of, like a
Rivalry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rivalry or something. Yeah.
Cool. We're a rest stop. I love it.
We're like we're like Bucky's, but not owned by evil jerkwads.
Yeah, exactly.
The Bucky's between here and San Antonio. That's what we are.
There
Rest
we go.
stop between 2 rival cities. Cool. So we'll each take a moment, and each of us can give a detail about the city or surrounding area. So some examples in the book are there's canals instead of streets, or they're connected tree houses, or it's carved into a mountain, or all sorts of stuff. So there's giant murals everywhere. Everyone wears funny hats. So yeah, just add one detail, and we'll throw that on the tavern sheet.
Do we do that in turn order or?
Yeah, let's do it in keeper order. So I just put those in alphabetical order. Why don't Adam go first?
Let's meet him.
Yeah.
So do I just type it in or do I say it and you do it?
Yeah, just say it and I'll type it in.
Okay. I think there's like the road is on sort of like I'm imagining sort of like kind of a dust bowl type thing. Like it's sort of like, very dry plains with like tumbleweeds. Like that's the road between that we're on.
Awesome, love it. How about Morgan?
Oh, well, if we're in a tumbleweedy kind of place. We have one very, very consistent pest. So like a groundhog type thing. So, they're always burrowing holes everywhere. So it's not always that people want to stop, but there are holes all over the road.
Awesome.
And you broke a wagon wheel. You got to pull over.
Sweet, I love it. How about Ryan?
Okay, this is about the setting and not the tavern itself, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Desert plants that there are like cacti type things, and they're actually sentient, but they move really, really slowly. like kind of like ants, but they're kind of like cactus ants, but even slower than that.
Nice, I love it.
So they'll, one over the course of 6 months, one will move from here to here.
Inside of them.
And some people can communicate with them, but it's very difficult to do.
It takes a while.
They're really patient.
No.
I love it. I'm gonna say that even though we're in a dust bowl, we will occasionally get like just a torrential rain for a day or so, and that sort of changes the environment a little bit in the short term, and then it immediately goes back to being dust bowl, just flash floods.
Oh, but then there's like that week where all the sentient cacti have pretty little flowers. It's really nice.
Yeah, I love it.
And the groundhogs all have to come out of their holes or they'll drown. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
They're right around on the cactus.
You gotta eat the flowers, eat the cactus fruit.
They have some kind of relationship. No one knows what it is, but it's definitely there.
Awesome. So now that we know where we are, now we'll say what our tavern looks like. So it can be as general and specific as we want. And each of us add a detail about the tavern. We'll go. Let's go reverse order. Let's do Ryan first.
Oh boy. Okay, so I was thinking that the only like permanent part, there's like one not super big building in the middle that's like the permanent part, and the rest of it, this just comes from the whole desert thing, is like tents that are like expanding in all directions, and some of them are kind of sturdy like yurts or something, but then some of them are just, and that's just how the tavern has kind of grown.
Nice.
Sort of makes me think of places in Breath of the Wild, like those with the stables.
Yeah.
Awesome. So are we thinking that the tavern, like the building and the tents around it, like that is the tavern itself, or is there a little community built up around us?
I'd say the tavern is the building and the tents. I'd say people have maybe occasionally stopped, but it's not like there's a permanent community, because that takes away from the Adam's idea of it being a way station. So
cool. Maybe like a truck stop, like people will stop in and wash up and maybe
I'm
camp
an
out.
improviser, Adam. I have to respect other people's ideas and add. That's how it works.
Awesome. Morgan, what do you got for us?
Ooh, something about the tavern. Well, there's got to be like it's mostly as nice as you can make it out in the kind of deserty surrounding we're in, but there's that one outhouse. And most of them are okay, but if all the other ones are in use, there's the really bad outhouse that everybody fights to not want to use.
One really nasty outhouse. Awesome.
It may. There may even be some kind of scary creature like living in that outhouse.
Or a
Oh,
curse
yeah.
on it.
A hand that pops out and asks for toilet
yeah,
paper
exactly.
occasionally.
In the poop part.
Something that lives in that environment that we can't fix.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Adam.
Okay. I'm imagining that like there's a fairly large portion of it that is like the land is like I guess a ranch that like sort of just taking care of just the needs of the tavern itself and like serve and like what would they serve people with, like I guess I don't know, cows, goats,
Nice.
Cows, goats, cow goats.
cow goats,
Fantasyland.
yeah,
Pegasus.
Pegasus.
It's harder to
Right.
ranch.
I
I think I'll
agree
add.
with this.
I think the tents around the main building and maybe the main building itself. I'll have these really tall, long, like not antenna, but just like poles that have colorful flags that kind of denote maybe the season, or if there's a festival, or maybe they generate power somehow, or magic attunement. But yeah, like nice changing colorful flags and stuff. Not sky dancers, but
Can we have a stuffed groundhog mascot since we're fantasy buckies?
Oh, that's right.
yeah. Cool. Well, that leads us to the name. What do we want to call it?
Oh man, names, my weakness.
Let's see.
Kind of whole, like I don't know, not
Ooh, yeah,
watering
whole would be
hole
good.
or
Like Oasis, dry.
Or just the watering hole kind of thing.
Oh, I see. Yeah, a kind of a watering hole type thing.
Like- like the wellspring or something like that.
Mhm. Did we have a? So did we? So the groundhogs. I'm gonna assume they're groundhog-like, but they're not actually called groundhogs or something
I couldn't
else.
tell.
So, yeah.
Maybe the groundhogs are actually some kind of like amphibious or aquatic thing, and the burrows they burrow are how we get our water.
Oh, so
yeah,
we
that's
can't
right.
fix the potholes. It's
Right,
how we
because they're like
maintain the
little
tavern.
salamanders or
that's-
frogs or lizards or whatever.
And that's why it's here, because this is a big colony of those. and
Yeah.
that gets the water
Yeah.
up from the water table, which is really
I
far
love it.
down.
And then
Hole
do
in the hole.
Amphibious groundhogs. Oh my gosh, that'd be awful. Probably smell weird.
And we still don't have a
Used to
name.
it.
That's okay.
I kind of like the frog in the hole. That's
Ooh,
Oh,
fire
yeah.
hole's good.
I like that too.
frog in the
I like
hole.
that
All
too.
right,
Sure.
Mhm.
frog in the hole. I love it. If anyone wants to find an image to throw on the sheet, go for it. I'm probably not going to, but you're also welcome to throw images like in the. I'll make another tab for images if we want to keep a stuff there. I think there was one, but cool. Yeah, feel free to paste stuff in there or use that for a vision board or whatever we like. Cool. So we've got our environment, we got our tavern. So the tavern has 3 stats that are going to increase over the course of the game. They go from 1 to 4 and they all start at 1. There's a stat for a rating for cuisine, which is the kind of food we have and how good it is and how good we are at serving it. There's a stat for atmosphere that says how nice our place is to be at. And there's a stat for service, which is how well it operates. So right now, cuisine is 1. So we have a cramped kitchen, a small pantry, cheap local wines, and a small brick oven. The atmosphere is 1, which means we have straw mattresses, narrow chimneys, bare walls. And service is a 1, which means, and each time we get a point of service, we get a new NPC. Be one of the hires there. So we'll start off with one of those, and who could be, former farmhand or an ancient guard or whatever. Is there a spot for that on there? Yeah, NPCs. Who's a buddy that works there?
The rancher?
A rancher? Yeah, the rancher. Rancher,
Yeah, that makes sense.
what's their name?
Uh,
Uh,
oh,
Donna.
geez.
Say again?
I said Donna.
Donna, I love it. Donna the
Ah,
rancher. Cool. Awesome. I love that. Cool. So all those traits start at 1, and we'll advance every 3 turns, I think it is. We do a game called Wear and Tear, where we talk about how we're kind of improving and upkeeping that, and we get to choose what to improve. There are other games that improve the ratings. If we do good at a festival, or if we get a distinguished guest. I think Homegrown also does it, and we'll get ratings there. And we're definitely not going to get 4 on everything, so we kind of want to decide what our strengths are. Cool. Any questions about the tavern stuff, or anything we want to add? Any details we want to throw in? Feel good about the toad in the hole, frog in the hole?
Yeah,
Frog in
I
the hole.
feel like I got a good image of it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So what are we ranching out back though?
Oops.
Someone said Pegasi earlier, and I'm like, oh man.
Are we gonna do a Pegasus ranch? Hell yes.
Cows. Sheep. Pegasi.
Turns out
There we go.
Pegasus patties are excellent fertilizer.
But
I
you
love
gotta
how
watch out.
Central Time
Watch out
Zone
for 'em.
made this.
I could have put a cool image in there, but I'm having trouble resizing it to fit. So anyway.
Yes, saw it.
Throw it in the images tab, and we'll play with it. Get it in
Okay,
there.
cool.
Oh, for
Um,
the record, my internet is garbage. Yeah.
Cool. As long as we can
So
hear
my
it, we're
internet's
good.
kind of garbage. So if I vanish, I'm here, I swear.
Awesome.
Yeah, I get a lot of the your internet is unstable messages a lot.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that happens.
but you know,
I'm judgmental. My internet has some
Yeah.
issues. Just relax.
Yeah.
right? Like we're all unstable here.
Exactly.
And that's why we come
We
together to
all
support
are.
one another.
Awesome. So we've got our tavern. Let's make some characters. So we're each going to play a character. We are each a retired adventurer, and I put everyone's names on there in alphabetical order. So we're gonna have to, so we know where we're writing. Cool. So before we choose our names and everything, let me talk a little bit about what it's going to look like. So the main thing that's going to define us is the adventurer job we came in with. So we could have been a paladin, wizard, fighter, rogue, druid, bard, ranger, or swashbuckler, standard stuff. So basically, we will each pick one of those adventurer jobs and pick 3 things that sort of define us from that. Pick a cool piece of armor and a weapon and a quirk we have, say what we look like, and make a name, and that will be our character. So anyone have any strong feelings about what adventurer job they want?
I was gonna go with fighter.
Take it.
Awesome.
Probably rogue or bard. I'll take bard.
Awesome.
Oh, wait. Is that a
In that
drop-down menu?
case, I'm gonna
Oh
go
yeah,
with-
Wrong button. Wrong
Just-
button.
yeah. Just choose that from the drop down. It'll fill in all that cool stuff for you.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go with druid.
Awesome.
Eh.
I'm gonna go. I'm
There we go.
gonna go with swashbuckler. I don't think that was in the one that I played before.
Oh.
Cool. So on the left side, there's checkboxes. Pick 3 of those. Let me double check. Oh no, we get all of them. That's right. Special skills. So let me see.
But
Your
check
adventure
back
and
on-
town jobs represent what kinds of things you were doing as an adventurer and what you do now in town. Your experiences are the special skills, trainings, feats, knowledge that make you good at what you do. There's 2 types: adventure experiences and town experiences. As we play the games, we can use our experiences to overcome the obstacles. When we use an adventure experience, we're going to cross it out and replace it with a town experience. It doesn't go away. We still know what it was, but it's just not something we do anymore. I think that is, so let me double check. Let me check on the last one. Used, great. Not sure exactly what the checkboxes do. You just make it bold. All right, that's fine. So we'll be using those during the game. I think we have, do we take all of them at the beginning? Let me see.
I think we have all of them, and then they get replaced.
We pick
or what is it?
three. It looks
Oh,
like
you
so.
picked 3?
Yeah, so
Oh,
the
sweet.
left ones make it bold. So pick the 3
Oh,
experiences
I
that you feel like define yourself.
Ooh.
Cool. So I'm taking for my swashbuckler, I was a duelist, a master of the blade, in the rigging, which gives me climbing and acrobatic feats, and bravado, which lets me never falter.
Sure. As a bard, I have a bag of tricks, which grants me access to card magic, juggling clubs, and other spectacles. I have the devil's fingers, which is prodigious skill with an instrument. And I have inspiration. I can power up my friends.
Awesome.
Oh,
Imagining
power of
I'm
friendship.
carrying around like a big ass heart.
Nice.
That's my instrument.
What do you got, Morgan?
I went with brute strength, which I can move the unmovable.
Nice.
Endurance, nothing can stop me. So I am both the immovable force and the unstoppable object. And I have a legendary weapon.
Amazing.
I wield an artifact of immense power.
Awesome.
I'm just a tank.
Has
with a
anybody
face.
else here read Legends and Lattes?
Mm-mm.
It's basically this game in a novel form, and you sound like the main character of that book.
Excellent.
I'll check it out. Cool, Ryan. What do you got?
Green Thumb, an affinity for plant magic, nature speak, understands plants and animals, and force of nature, bend the land around you to your will.
Oh, so you can
Awesome.
definitely talk to the cacti.
Yes, that was.
Okay.
I mean, as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Well, I'm going to talk to the cacti."
Excellent.
Awesome. Cool. So let's go ahead and pick our look, so how we look, weapon, armor, and quirk. There's a table for that on page 14 of the book. You can pick one off the table, or you can make up one that fits the character and pick a name.
Where can I get the book, Mark?
The book, the bookmark. If you go to the notes tab, there's playtest materials at the top. The Dropbox link there.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. I have not been looking at chat.
What page,
What page again? 14?
14, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That will also have the links to our dice roller and card deck when we need it once in a while.
Brought my own cards.
Nice.
Cool guy.
Let's see.
Paste. Oh geez. Oh, that didn't like to paste good. Let's see.
Is this like standard D&D fantasy races too, in addition to like? Sort
Yeah.
of, okay.
Yeah, we don't necessarily have to default to human for sure. Ooh.
There we go. Oh, kitty, no. Yeah. Out of my face. Okay, there we go.
And I assume that I can just make up one of my own if I don't like something here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
That's not doable. I'll just end it like this.
Name generator. Let's
Right?
see.
I would be so lost without name generator.
I like that one.
Hey.
Whoa.
Awesome. Fun.
Oh, right. I have to actually look like something.
Cool. Do we feel like we're all set on that front? Awesome. Adam, introduce your character.
I am Delphinicus. My pronouns are he and him. He's a tall, gangly half-elf guy, bard with a enormous harp. He's blessed / cursed. He's sort of like forever looks like a kind of like an older teenager. Maybe people are always amazed to learn that he's older than 20, much less a retired adventurer long ago. Yeah, I guess my weapon, he fights when it comes to that with a couple of jeweled daggers, and he wears gloves covered in runes that protect his fingers from calluses. And his quirk is a gleaming smile.
Awesome. I'm going to be playing Kiori, she, her. Kiori is a long, thin-limbed lizard man pirate captain. She has a rapier dagger set carved from bone, and her armor is a glistening coat of scales, probably taken off of other lizard man pirates.
Wow.
Quirk is that she never blinks. Morgan, what do you got?
Okay, well, I am Thea, she, her. I'm human, kind of late 30s, very shoulder length, very raggedy cut, always kind of messy hair, very scarred, a lot of battles, but really tiny, like very unassumingly tiny, very petite. Have a giant sword, all blunt edges and force. Anybody seen Berserk?
Yeah.
It's just Guts' sword.
All right.
Straight up. It's just Guts' sword.
Except you're like 3 feet tall or something.
Oh yeah, like she and the sword are like the same size. Like the physics does not make sense.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's got armored crafted from a giant insect shell. It's probably from one of the first monsters that she slayed. Has that kind of that rainbowy sheen to it. And her quirk is that she sleeps with one eye open. So I imagine that she and Kiori kind of have, a staring contest very late at night. It's very, very suspicious of one another.
Nice. And Ryan.
This is funny. I did not mean to play the type, but here we are. So I am Heineful, which I just looked it up. It's Welsh for ancient. He's a very old man. He's tired, a long gray beard, kind of tattered. Looks like he really wants a nap. Been adventuring for a very long time. He's like Gandalf, but not nice or energetic.
Oh man. No fireworks, huh?
No fireworks.
Just
no
fire.
It's not that he's a mean guy. He's just tired. So he's been doing this a long time. And he has a staff of dark wood, worn smooth, a tattered, faded green robe, and his quirk is slow, measured movements.
Awesome.
So he actually is going to get along very well with the cacti. So
nice. Cool. So that is character creation. That is it for that. Like I said, we'll be transforming our adventure experiences into town experiences. I believe we get a free town experience in our first game, which we'll play. So how does the game work? So the Stewpot is based on a game called Mobile Frame Zero Firebrands, which is an awesome mech pilot game where you don't really pilot mechs most of the time. It's mostly like romance and intrigue, and it's amazing. And it's played through a bunch of mini games. So the way Stewpot is structured, there's a game to start off with and a game at the end, and we'll be playing a bunch of these little mini games in the meantime, and we'll just go around and pick the games in turnover. And they can be like cleaning and repairing, or giving advice to a stranger, or flirting with someone, or having a festival, or trying to impress a food critic, or finding monster parts to cook with. And so we'll go through that. There's a list of the games in the mini games tab with the description and page number. Feels like a lot, and they're all good. So you can just pick anything you feel like. But we will start off with the first game called The First Step.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Do we need to go ahead and pick our town job? Or
No,
do we
we'll
just
do that,
or is that later?
when we play the first game. We'll do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Believe. Yeah. Great question though. Yeah, and so when does the game end? It ends generally when we've all changed all three of our adventure experiences to town experiences, then we play the last game. Or if we feel like wrapping up sooner than that, we feel like, oh yeah, it's been 3 hours and let's go to sleep. We can just we can break there. Yeah, so it doesn't have a like you have to do at this amount of time. We could each play one game and be like, that's cool, I think we're good. But in general, it's usually lasts about a dozen games, about 3 hours. Cool, and every 3 games we'll take a little break. So let me introduce the first game. The first game is called The First Step. Before we decided to put down roots here, before we found this group of friends, what were we doing? What was the first thing we learned about living in town? So everyone plays this game. At the beginning, every character gains 1 town experience. So on your character sheet, there should be, oh, did we choose town job? I think I skipped a whole step. Never mind.
Yeah.
yeah, Morgan
I
tried to
totally
keep you on
misunderstood what you were asking. Sorry.
ignoring the young person.
I'm used to it.
Let's all take
Fine.
a town job. And we're living in town now. I'm totally sorry. I totally messed that up.
No, you're good.
Let's all pick a town job as well.
Yay.
So the town jobs are farmer, healer, chef, poet, merchant, crafter, scholar, lookout, apothecary, and hunter. What do you feel like?
Oh man. Well, I always try to pick something that I'm bad at in real life, because that's the essence of fantasy, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Is it the same? I pick one and then pick 3 of the experiences.
So with these, you just pick it, and we'll pick the first town experience during our first game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think I'll go with crafter.
Ooh, nice.
I chose scholar.
Awesome.
Still trying to figure it out. Hold on.
What am I gonna get?
Oh,
Merchant sounds
farmer
fun
is
to
so
me.
obvious. Farmer and healer are so obvious for my character. That's all right.
For it.
Doesn't matter with being obvious. Farmer.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll take merchant.
I clicked the wrong person. Bad. I can read and look
Crafter.
at columns. I can do all things.
Okay, cool. Now, at the beginning of the first game, this is when we pick our first town experience.
Okay.
So just pick one off the left-hand side there. And so these town experiences are things that we will be able to use when we're telling the story or playing the game. So if I've picked, let me pick one that's not me. If I've picked poet, and one of my things is spin straw into gold, telling enchanting stories. I could use that, in the course of either breaking up a fight or trying to romance someone or trying to get a deal on monster parts or whatever. So you can use the ones that you've chosen and check them off as we do. You go back to the merchant.
Awesome possum.
I think I'm just going to start off with the trader experience, something you need for something I need.
I also chose my first one of well read. I know it, or I know where to learn about it.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll go with repair. You can fix anything with enough time.
Nice.
I'm going to go with home remedies, which says unconventional solutions. So I'm not exactly sure what that means.
Put some butter on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. So to play the first step, we're going to take turns describing a short scene that leads to the experience we just chose. Another player or players might come with you, although they won't gain the same experience. If you don't have an idea, there's a list of scene starts at the on pages 28 and 29. And I'll jump in first, just to sort of get stuff rolling. Let's see. I'm going to say that the children in town take a liking to me and they're pestering me for more stories. So probably sitting I'm probably sunning myself, right? Probably on there's probably like a little plaza that's not covered by tents, like in front of the main building. And there's sort of sandstone benches, maybe like a little fountain that's like around one of the holes. I'm kind of hanging out there between shifts or whatever, and just kind of like, even though I don't blink, I do close my eyes when I'm like relaxing. And I think probably there's probably a lot of humans around, and there may not be used to seeing a non-monster lizard person. And so I think the kids who are playing in the plaza kind of approach like kind of cautiously and wide-eyed. And I was like open one eye, and one of them asks me, they are from the area, so they're from the desert, and they're like, someone said you used to be a pirate captain. Tell us, what was that like? I tell them, what the ocean was like. There's water as far as you can see, and no land, definitely no sand, and just like all the different places I've been in. After a while, there's just a dozen kids sitting in the plaza, just sort of like staring, listening, and probably do that until the sun starts to go down and it gets too chilly for me. We'll wrap up the stories and promise them to tell them some more some other time. How does that do my experience? I think the kids sort of beg me for more stories, and I promise them to each of them, I'll tell them each a story about anything they want, as long as they bring me a little, bring me something they like. Bring me like a piece of food or a toy they like.
I found this shiny rock.
Yeah, give me, I'll take it.
How about a bug to eat, Mark?
Eat bug
We'll eat lots of
sandwiches.
those. Cool. Anyone could go next.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Okay. So I figure Thea honestly was just passing through. She's a monster slayer. People say there's this big giant whatever that needs some slaying. I'm like, "Ugh." And I've been doing this for a long time. It's getting kind of old, but so I stop. And when you stop and you sit down, it's like any second now, I'm gonna get up again.
Mm.
I'm gonna get up. And that just kind of goes on for a while, like, but the motivation's just not there. But then you hear like a sound. And I figure, the tower has like rain collectors or whatever, because we're in the middle of the desert, but something's like clanging and it's not working. And you can just you hear people complain about it, and everyone keeps complaining about it, but nobody's doing anything about it. And Thea has no experience whatsoever fixing anything, but she's great at hitting stuff. So after several hours of hearing the annoying clanging, it's like, well, you got to do what you got to do, because giant monsters are annoying, but this is light years ahead of that. So just kind of starts asking around, eventually ends up with a wrench, and after a couple of hours of hitting things in the right places, it starts working.
Nice.
And so it's like, yeah. So that's like, they're like, that's amazing. Nobody's been able to fix that in forever, but you managed it. And it's like, oh, I guess I've got the touch. So that's just kind of why I started to stick around.
Nice.
Yes.
I love it.
I'll go. If it's Hinafall, yeah, that's your name. Are you okay if like we've sort of known each other for a while? All right.
Yes, definitely.
I was thinking that like one thing that's like, I've been staying here, hanging out sort of in like a room, like reading a bunch of books and sort of just like practicing. I've sort of got this idea in my head that I want to write some big like historical epic and perform it to everybody. So really, I'm telling myself I'm doing research for that. But I get up early in the mornings, and like lately they're like, started out with just one like sort of little cat following me around on my walk, and now there's like another one every morning, and now there's like 8 like just like stray cats that like follow me when I sort of go on sort of my morning walk and practice. And like I'm sort of imagining like I'm like, oh God, what do I do about this? And I think like I sort of like maybe even like sort of like I think about like approaching you. I walk up, I'm like, I'll solve this one myself. I don't need to ask his help on everything. And I decide I'm like looking in my books like to try to find out, what do cats eat? And I think like, yeah, I've come across some tale in my book of lore, my book of my fables that implies that they might eat sausages. So I think this is the morning that like I've cut up a bunch of sausages into like very perfect like little cubes, and I am like slowly like dangling, like dropping them behind me as these cats sort of like oh, it turns out there's like 30 of them are kind of following me around. And this is sort of, yeah, this may be my this may be a new ritual I have picked up.
That's great.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't mention is there's a section called memories in the middle of the character sheet.
Yeah.
Those are just if anything about your character seems fun or memorable, interesting, funny, whatever. You can just drop something in there. We will probably refer to them in the final game, just kind of like looking back on things that happened. They don't have any like super hardcore mechanical effect or anything. So just drop stuff in there when it feels right.
Cool.
Great.
Yeah, I was actually kind of assuming that we had all been adventurers together, but that doesn't necessarily have to be true. But
or our paths have crossed several times. So.
Yeah. So okay, so for Heinefall, however one pronounces that, we'll go with that. There's locals here, right? But there's also a lot of non-locals passing through or living here or whatever. And the non-locals, have a lot of trouble with the sun, and like there's sunburn is horrible here, right? And so through my knowledge of plants and nature and all this, I have I made this for myself, started for myself, but then started passing it on to other people, like a mixture of like mud and dung and like cactus juice, and like, you know, that really soothes the sunburn and makes you smell terrible, but nonetheless everybody loves it. So especially, you know, the pale people, so, and the people who are not from around here. So and that's where I got into the whole home remedies thing.
We better be charging for that.
Well, that's
It's not
I
free.
actually thought about that, and the thing is, he's not, because he's not that he somebody might try to convince him to, but he's like,
First one's free.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not that kind of guy.
Awesome. Cool. That's the first game. So now we'll go around and pick games in turn. One feeler every 3 games. We'll take a little break. Yeah, Adam.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, can we take a break now? And
Yeah,
then we'll
I was
go
gonna
on as
recommend that.
Because
Yeah.
the prep was long. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Let's take 5 and come back at 8.
sounds great.
Awesome.
Groovy.
Oh shit.
Hello.
Hello.
Howdy, howdy.
Hello.
Cool. How are folks feeling so far?
Fun.
Awesome.
That was like in sync. That was awesome.
Nice. I was gonna start off with a game unless someone has a super strong hit on one of the other ones.
Go for it.
I was thinking of starting off with Market Day, which doesn't look like it's in the list on the Keeper, but it is in the book. So I'll find out where that is. Because Market Day sounds like something that my guy would be.
That is on page 35.
35, great. Sweet. You would never have guessed how many things a tavern needs to operate on a day-to-day basis. It feels like you're always at the market. That's my job. In my previous life, I would have just thrown my coin at the nearest merchant to get what I need. But now that I'm tied down to one place, it's not as easy to get everything. Buying something isn't as straightforward as a simple transaction. Still, calling this place home has its advantages. A trader saves something special for me or throws in a little something extra as thanks for my patronage or for that favor I did last time. That's nice. Cool. So anyone can play. Players will choose between being a shopper or a merchant. Merchants can be player characters or NPCs, and there must be at least one of each. I think I will be a shopper. Does someone else want to play as a merchant? I don't know if yeah. And would anyone like to play as a shopper and or merchant?
I'll
You need
be
to
a
look for
merchant.
Awesome.
So could I be like Donna, our rancher?
Maybe. So I'm going to on the next page there's a set of things. So for each item a shopper needs, the merchants will ask at least one of the following, and then you can ask as many as you want until you're satisfied. So merchant will ask at least one of the following. Okay, cool. So if you're a merchant, you'll be asking me one of these questions about something that I need. And Ryan and Morgan can also jump in as themselves or NPCs as shopper or merchants.
And is this this is happening sort of in our
Yeah, just kind of like
frog in the pool?
Yeah, in and around.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So merchant, you can ask me as many of these questions as you want until we're satisfied.
What do you need?
What do I need? I think probably need. I'm guessing so. Like maybe this building was kind of like an outpost between these two cities. And then these tents just kind of came up around it, and we've kind of moved into the outpost and are turning it into our place. And I think we need some like I feel like we need some fancy things in there. So we probably need some tapestries or wall hangings or a sign or some paintings or something. So decorations for the inside of the tavern, I think.
Yeah, so I think I'll be a new character. Is that okay?
Mhm.
Like I'm some like I think maybe I've just realized I'm the Minecraft merchant. I've wandered in with my like llamas, and like I've got like a bunch of like fancy like they're just stocked up with like basically rugs and cloths and robes, fabrics and stuff. Like I'm kind of dressed head to toe, kind of covered in cloth to protect myself from the dust and the sun.
Awesome.
And like
my eyes just light up.
You're looking for tapestries? Are you looking for new clothing? You are you surely somebody of as clearly as discerning an eye as you might be interested in a piece such as this one. And like he brings out sort of like like unrolls like a like 6 foot long sort of like wall hanging that appears to have that. It looks like it's sort of like it's demonstrating like fighting stances, like of some, you know, some far away land. Like here are some moves you could do, or someone might be able to learn from this. And it's like, is this
That one, yes.
Yes. Well, something this hard to find, I think, demands something equally rare in return. What piece of valuable adventuring gear can you explain to me?
Oh,
Yeah.
one of my pieces of gear. Yeah.
Time to let that stuff go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she, you know, kind of looks at the fighting styles like, yeah, I could take that guy. I could take that guy. Definitely that guy. Okay. This is definitely something, this is fancy enough. I have something equally as beautiful, not as big, and go back to like my room in the tavern and bring out my coat of scales. And it's a bunch of different colors. It's like more like a cloak, I guess, than a coat. But it's definitely got like different pieces of like different tones of scales sort of worked together. Clearly are from different animals, but they work together in this nice pattern. This kind of glints in the sunlight. It looks wet, but it never is.
Beautiful, beautiful. And see, and these appeared to be, you know, yes, as you say, not equal in size, but equal in quality. This trades in stars. And
I've worked hard for every piece of this. I believe me.
Yes. I'll throw this in too. And she like picks up she produces a coin from somewhere. It's like, you know, it's gold. It's about like this big. She flips it, and as you can see, as it flips through the air, like each side is a different color, and there's more than two. It like turns like red, and then like one side is red, one side is yellow, and flips over, and it's green, and one side is blue. And she's like, I don't know what this does, but I got it from another trader, and you can have it. I don't. If you know somebody who wants it, here you go.
I accept.
It might be rare, it might be dangerous, but I think it fits you.
Is it rare or dangerous? Who might want it one? Awesome.
I guess I asked that. Who might
Yeah.
want this? You?
I think I think he already thinks it might be dangerous. I think she's although she's been a lot of places and seen a lot of things, she's more on like the Conan side of things, like sword fighting, does not like magic so much. But like this is shiny and fascinating, and although it might be dangerous, she definitely accepts, and because she knows that maybe Heinefall might be interested in it because they're a magic kind of person.
I am satisfied with this exchange.
Awesome.
Yes,
Cool.
leave her alone.
That is the game then. Sweet. So let's go. Let's just go and keep your order again. So Morgan.
Oh man, I'm picking a game.
Yeah.
Oh geez.
Take your time. No big
Yeah.
deal.
No stress.
Mhm.
Oh, so much stress constantly. Always.
In the book, it lists it marks ones with diamonds that are good early games. So like Sliced, where you're cooking with monster parts.
Man.
Homegrown is a good one. Market Day is where I got that one from. So those are
Let's
fun.
see.
Or anything
Okay,
you like.
I had to find the page, but I found the page.
26. Yeah.
Yes, I'm on that page. Let's see.
So I've marked off my listening code scales.
Okay. I kind of liked the look of homegrown.
Awesome.
There's something special about using ingredients grown nearby. Why not give growing your own a try?
Mhm.
Those cacti have to grow somehow, right? Like, they don't just pop up out of nowhere.
so-
Okay, wait.
Page 38, just read the intro and setup, and we'll go from
I
there.
would love to, as soon as I get to page 38. There it is. Okay. Okay, homegrown. There's something special about using ingredients grown nearby. You might have laughed at that before, but you can really notice a difference when you're making the same dishes over and over again. You've got some room for plants and animals and plenty of magic and food scraps to spare. Why not try it out? Oh, this is gonna go wonderful. Anyone can play. As a group, decide where your garden is or where you keep your animals. Oh, we did that already, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh.
Done.
The space can be inside your tavern, but it can also just be somewhere relatively close if your characters can describe how to get there in a few sentences. You'll also need to decide what you're growing or keeping. Are you doing a little bit of both? What's about to be in season here? Cool. Okay, so let's see, there's planting and harvest. Okay.
Well, I
Okay,
feel like
Rita.
I would like to be in on this with you in some way,
Yeah.
just because it's so on character. So
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll jump in.
Oh yeah.
good.
Well,
Okay.
I feel like Thea, by virtue of being a tank, has to be involved in wrangling the Pegasi, right?
Sure.
Like they're all like 3 feet taller than her, but that's what she do. Okay, but let's see. Farming is messing and gross and a far cry from the heroics of your adventuring days. As you work, there are quite a few unflattering incidents that occur. But at the end of the day, they're all something you can laugh about together. Take turns sharing embarrassing stories that happened to you. Everyone playing should share at least one. Come up with your own or use a prompt from the list below. Well, of course, the first one is there's a manure accident.
Seems likely with Pegasi.
Oh yeah, well, the big problem is you need to remember to look up. It's like the first rule. And Thea's dealt with flying monsters, but usually, she waits till they land to deal with them.
I can't believe that in all of my years of playing fantasy games, this is the first time I realized that Pegasi flying
Oh
and
yeah.
horse poop, like that's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, and Pegasi, of course, I mean, they're the worst combination of bird and horse. So they're just smart enough to be spiteful. So they remember your face. They can be sweet like crows, they like bring you stuff, but they also just remember your face. So when they take aim, if they hit you, it was definitely on purpose. And that first day, I'm getting used to Pegasi temperament, and I might have yanked on reins a little too hard. And apparently they also word spreads fast among Pegasi. So let's just say all the clothes that day, they're burned, they're gone. There was nothing salvageable after that first day. It wasn't a pretty picture, but we also learned that Pegasi manure is great for growing anything else. So I also had the pleasure of, I couldn't just scoop it and get rid of it. I had to gather up my humiliation and put it in, like the little storage shed for Pegasi manure. And
Nice.
people weren't hanging around with me that day either. That took a day or two for that smell to really go away.
Here, have some sunburn liniment. That'll help.
Yeah, what you're smelling, that's just the sunburn ointment. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, they smell kind of the same. It's weird.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Luckily combined, it doesn't make it worse. But it's still just, it's not a great night or day. So yeah.
I have an embarrassing story. So as I was trying to get some small edible sort of aloe-like things growing, cultivating, they grow around in the desert. I also encountered some mushrooms that I thought were just, that I thought were just like, just some desert fungi, because it's so moist. And, but near the plants it is. So cooked up a nice little soup or stew for lunch, and consumed it. And yeah, they were much like some mushrooms that I had way back at Druid College. And, but actually very relaxing and a lovely experience. And I think that I might be part of the cacti tribe now. I'm not sure, but I think I am. So, and then
Nice.
yeah, and I was like a full like 2 days wandering around, talking to cacti and like losing my robe and naked old man. So that kind of craziness.
Did you get poked? Did you try to embrace the cacti and regret it immediately?
That's right. Got some spines.
Oh yeah.
Hugging them.
I love it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I was out there helping to tend the Pegasi. And I think actually because of my pirating days with on a ship with rope and stuff, I'm pretty able to manage them, and we keep them tethered sometimes when we're not letting them roam. So the Pegasi weren't the problem. The problem was when I went to feed them one day. Of course, they need to drink, and when they're tethered in the field, we keep them tethered near the frog holes so they can drink out of there. And I was paying too much attention to the Pegasi, I think, and I looked down and noticed one of the and these are probably like dog-sized amphibians, like frog things. Just like
this suddenly made them way more terrifying than I imagined.
Sticking its head out of its hole. It's like just kind of looking at me. I was like, okay, they're here. That's what they're for. And then slowly realizing that I was like in the middle of a field of these holes, and there was 20 or 30 of them just kind of like blinking at me. I don't blink, and so it's really weird for me. And they the Pegasi kind of graze, but we bring them special treats every now and then. This was one of those days, and the frog dogs got a whiff of it and just started mobbing me. Not attacking me or anything, but like very interested in what's in the bag. And eventually I just had to like slither out of this big pile of ravenous frog dogs, just like let the bag of treats go. They can have it. And just like had to walk home with just like the ooze on me. Just,
oh yeah, they're definitely slimy.
They are definitely wet and slimy in those holes.
Oh, gross.
May I go?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So the ranching is not, it's not something that, being outside really isn't something that appeals too much to me, Delphinicus. I saw that you all, were regularly going down there and sort of making, and I was like, I suppose I should make myself useful, be part of the team. And like, I sort of I set my harp and my fancy cloak aside, wore my, outdoors cloak, came down to just check it out. Like one morning, I was going to ask Donna what I could do. And like, immediately when I walked, there was like some very young Pegasus foal who was like I guess took a liking to me or something. And it just started chasing me. Like it flew sort of right down, and I was like running around inside the in the sort of clearing that the it's not really clearing, but like what the area that the Pegasi maintained, and it was I'm imagining that that scene in North by Northwest, except it was sort of just a dive bomb, running what's going on, and that's why I don't really spend much time at the ranch.
Well, from this, I've gathered that Donna has respect for none of us.
Yeah.
Most of us because of our interactions with the Pegasi, and for Hannafall because she just saw more than she wanted to. You came wandering in. So at the end, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Before all all gone. We're all done. So then it says harvest. It says your hard work pays off. During the next time you play wear and tear, your cuisine rating goes up by 1. In addition to the upgrade, you pick for wear and tear. What kind of dishes can you make now that you weren't able to before? We spent a lot of time with horse poops. I'm not sure. Maybe you found a good use for those mushrooms
Yeah, I was
after
gonna
you
say
came
we
down.
have an excellent mushroom stew that's either leaded or unleaded. Your choice.
There's a little,
well, maybe
microdosing stew. Yeah.
well, maybe the mushrooms turned out they grow real well in pesticide fertilizer.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
you don't have to go wandering off into the desert. That we have, the little area out back that guests aren't allowed to go back there. But if you order off the special menu,
Right.
definitely in for a good time.
Yeah. Awesome.
Awesome. Cool. That's that game. It's around
And
to
for wear and
Ryan.
tear.
Oh.
That was your second game.
Yeah, we did first step, then we did then we did the
so
market
this is the
day,
third
and then
game.
we did
Yeah.
this. So yes, that was the third one.
Cool. Yeah.
But we took a break after first step.
Yeah.
There you go. Whatever.
I'm okay skipping a break if other folks are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine
So-
taking a break. I just
so
don't
we
need to
just
wear
go
and tear
to-
like every 3 games, or is that something else?
Yeah, that's wear and tear. Let me double check. Playing the game. Every 3 games, take a break, return, play wear and tear. Awesome. Cool.
Okay.
So wear and tear is there's always something to fix, clean, or pay off. After playing this game, we can increase one of our tavern ratings by 1. And we're also increasing our cuisine by 1. Sweet. Cool. Anyone can play as a group, decide what part or parts of the tavern need fixing and touching up, and what the new features of the tavern are. And we'll take turns describing what work we're doing on the tavern. Choose one of the following prompts to get started, or come up with your own. Everyone should pick one.
I found that.
Awesome. Any second now. Oops. There we go.
Okay.
Oh, right. And I need to add so much poop to my memories.
Yeah. I want to put the
Oh yeah.
Okay, so should we go ahead and automatically up the cuisine by
Yeah.
1? Are you going to do that?
Yeah, go
Mark?
for it.
Oh,
See you
because
there.
of the
mushrooms.
Yeah. A little
Love
bit
them
because of the
mushrooms.
poop, but mostly because of the mushrooms.
Well, it's a symbiotic thing. The poop and the
Yeah.
mushrooms.
So now we have a modest kitchen, a couple of ovens, a regular supply of essentials, and a few bottles of the good stuff.
Yeah, we make the good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that good stuff's homegrown. Okay, let me.
I'll start off with I think I'm going to do I'm completely in my element, describe how I use an experience to get the work done light and fast. And I think this might be we have windstorms and the rainstorms every once in a while, and occasionally the sort of the awnings and the rigging of the tents and stuff gets blown down and pulled down. And so while I'm up hanging up our new tapestry and any other delicious, beautiful, colorful fabrics we have, maybe even running up and changing out the flags for the new month or whatever, fixing up all the tent pole stuff. I'm going to use my in the rigging adventure experience. So I like that is definitely my job, and I easily just kind of scamper up the poles and fix stuff up behind all my truckers' hitches and whatnot. And so I'm gonna use that experience, and what am I gonna take for a town experience off of that? I think I'll take the Perfect. Now I'm gonna take the know the customs and languages of the world for that one. And I think that's part of changing out the flags. They have different greetings and stuff and symbols and whatnot on them. And through like changing them out, I have to like there's someone in town who keeps them. I've offered to climb up and change them out. And I kind of talk with them about what all the greetings mean. There's some that I don't even recognize. And so I sort of learn about language and customs of folks who have traveled through here from those.
Cool.
Neat.
Yeah, I think it hasn't been emphasized, but you can burn a adventure experience anytime you want. Some games like give you an advantage when you're drawing cards and stuff, but sometimes it's just fun to use it.
Yeah, I actually have an idea for something Heinefall wants to do. So up until now, the water for the tavern is gathered like from a nearby oasis-like pond, that is fed by the tunnels of the whatever they're called, the Buc-ee's guys.
It's called frog dogs, but we can make up
The
whatever.
way that
I like frog dogs. I like frog dogs.
frog dogs. Okay, by the frog dogs. And so, and it's a lot of work. You have to drag in all this water and all this. So Heinefall is going to, using his understand plants and animals, is going to make friends with the frog dogs and have them basically like dig us plumbing so that we have water inside the tavern, at different points, and probably get some help from a strong woman over there to because there's got to be like we've got to have some kind of basin or something for it to gather. We might have to build that out of clay or something. I don't know. So
oh yeah, no, I'm always good for picking up stuff. Basic shapes I'm also excellent with.
So yeah, that's Heinefall's big first, after he's done messing around in the gardens, and he has this vision of how we could have a better water supply.
Is it kind of like flowing into like a big cistern in the middle of the town there? A little
the kitchen or something.
Settling.
So he speaks to the frog dogs and befriends them, and they dig us some plumbing. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh.
And did you choose a new town experience for using?
Let's see. Handler, I guess.
Oh, awesome. Perfect.
Caring for and communicating with animals. Yeah. I'm gonna run away for 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you bet.
He ran away.
I think one of like what I'm doing, sort of like the time I'm spending working right now is I think a really important thing is I'm making the signs and the menu, anything that like requires writing and calligraphy. I'm being very, very careful and like hand doing each one. I sort of sit in a corner of the restaurant area, and I'm copying I'm taking inspiration from different books. I'm sort of, and like while I'm doing this, I'm sort of casually with I'm like writing. I'm left-handed. I'm writing with my left hand, and I'm sort of like doing like just sort of habitually like doing like one-handed cuts and shuffles with my other hand, and I sort of notice like while I'm doing this, oh hey,
You're still muted.
There's like somebody who's a little I think like a kid, maybe like 11, 12. He's just sort of like, I can just sort of see that he's like watching as I like do these magic tricks, and he's like, that is super cool. And he goes and like I'm doing this for like hours. I'm just sort of sitting here casually doing this, and like he's not trying to get my attention. He's just sort of watching, and he goes and like he gets like several friends, and they're like, it's so cool. I want to learn how to do that. they sort of just are like, sitting and watching me do that. And I guess what I learn from like observing these people is that, I may not feel like I'm, after all this time adventuring, I may not feel like anything particularly special, but it's good to remember that to the everyday common rustic, what we do is quite fantastic. And we're really an inspiration to them. So I should really spend more time in the public eye, being seen by the everyday folk, to give them hope for what they could be, if they really, really tried.
Looking like a true bard.
Yeah.
I need to be seen.
Yes. So I think that's my bag of tricks that I'm using.
Awesome. Cool.
And I'm going to take out keen observation, something only I could see.
Nice.
There we go.
This is Rocket the Frog Dog. That's the only reason I went to get him, because everybody kept saying frog dog. I was like, wait a minute, I have a frog.
You have a frog dog. He's delightful. New mascot. Oh, no, he went away.
He is the frog in the hole.
He'll get tired of being up there with me.
Okay. Well, I guess everyone loves your idea for a new addition to the tavern. They put you in charge, but you're doubting your ability to lead everyone on this. Who gives you encouragement and how? Well, so our cuisine rating went up. So I imagine that we have improved our kitchen. And because I'm like, we really need to. Whoop. He has disappeared. I'll keep talking.
Adam's gonna bring in his improved kitchen.
I have one of those. Does he also have a frog dog? Did I miss that memo too?
Come here, buddy.
Should I keep going? Should I wait?
Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
Chip crumbs.
Oh, it's cute. Anyway, so I point out, it's like people can forgive a lot of stuff if the food is decent, and it's like, oh yeah. And I imagine everyone puts me in charge because I fixed the stove once, and I hit it several times, and it started working again, which I fixed it. So now everyone thinks that I should definitely be in charge of this kitchen renovation, but I don't know what I'm doing. And any encouragement that could be provided would be great, because what really started me on adventuring was swearing to never ever get into food service like my parents. So I never absorbed any of that knowledge. So
I think you get to decide who gives you encouragement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Well, let's see.
We're also going to get a new NPC in the kitchen because we got that cuisine up. So if we want to incorporate that, that'd be cool too.
Well, obviously, okay. So this new NPC, our new our kitchen guy. What's his name going to be? Like Rorden Gamzee. I don't. Okay.
So he's an asshole.
He's a dwarf. He's a dwarf. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'm kind of standing there in the middle of this, and we just kind of just ordered stuff like a walk-in kitchen IKEA like caravan came through one day, and we just bought everything that I thought looked good. And so I'm just standing there in this kitchen with all this stuff, and Rorden was just passing through, and he got his special mushroom stew, and he thought it was amazing. So of course he just wanders back into the kitchen and sees Thea standing there not having a clue of what's going on. No problem. And he just kind of but it's just like, what are you doing? And it's like I very awfully awkwardly trying to explain what's going on. Then he just kind of like, and then at that point just kind of takes over. And, you know, I'm big, tough, strong lady. So when he says, you know, put the grill over there, I can very easily put the grill over there. And that's sort of how we get in the process of being our new kitchen. And turns out Rorden, you know, just recently left his job at a very upscale upscale place. And normally, like, we're way below his radar, but there was just, but we won't tell him where the mushrooms came from, and unless he agrees to at least work for us for a little while. And you know,
Nice.
he's all about taking on new challenges. So there we go.
This will be a
That's how we
challenge.
that's how we got our professional kitchen chef.
Awesome.
Dwarf Rorden Gamzee.
What other tavern rating do we want to bump up?
Was
Well,
it not service? What you used to?
oh, that
no,
one was
that was
automatic because
Yeah, we got cuisine for, was it cuisine or service?
it was
we got
cuisine.
cuisine from
Yeah.
the.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we get to pick another one.
Well, we fancied it up.
Yeah,
with
atmosphere.
so I
Up
think, yeah,
atmosphere?
maybe atmosphere
Yeah.
should.
Okay.
Cool. So now we have canvas cots, freshly painted walls, and clean windows even. And we'll get another NPC from that.
Oh, they all give you NPCs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe like the since we're like we've fancied up all the flags and stuff, maybe like the either like what do you call a person who makes things out of fabric?
Taylor.
Yeah.
A tailor or a tailor.
Leather worker.
A very tired cosplay person.
I'm a tailor. I tail.
Yeah, I'm a tailor now.
A seamstress or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on what you're making.
Let's do yeah. What's her name? Names.
Be like just like a weaver.
Weaver is good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call them Weaver. And maybe they're like a tailor slash like archivist, and part of their job is like sewing new tales and stuff into the surroundings.
Did we hire like that merchant who like you bought the?
Yeah, that's Weaver.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Tailor, archivist, merchant, model, dancer.
Tinker, tailor, soldier, spy, possibly.
Awesome. Cool. And we can bring in those NPCs for games whenever we feel like to.
Excellent.
Cool. Who's up next game wise? Is it Ryan?
Yeah, I haven't picked one yet.
Cool.
Let me look. Games for core mechanics and Npc side quests. I like NPC Sidequest.
Yeah.
So,
Ooh.
you know, I've played a few computer games. I know what that's about. Let's see, NPC Sidequest. Your adventuring days are over, maybe over, but there are plenty of people in town that could use your help. Decide where you are when you encounter this side quest. Are you in the tavern? Are you walking around town, on the road leading in? Others players can jump in and ask questions, add details, or play NPCs throughout the game. Okay, let's say I am tending the mushroom fields. Whatever they are.
Slaving away in the mushroom field.
The mushroom turds. That's what it is.
There we go.
Do we have to like take the mushrooms like somewhere dark, or take the turds, the patties somewhere dark, and like
A
inoculate
cellar.
them? Yeah, cellar. We have a
So-
patty cellar.
They can't smell good in there.
Mushrooms are also, this is true, are also farmed in tents. their farm and covering. So
Oh, so we got the
Perfect.
mushroom tent.
So we got a mushroom tent. Nice.
yeah, we got mushroom tents.
Nice.
So, okay, 3 scenes to this game. If you need to come up with a quest, use the creating a quest instructions below.
Just pasted a deck of cards into the chat too.
Okay, do you have a deck of cards handy, bud?
Oh, you linked it. I see.
Yeah, there's a link. You can use that deck there. I think you just click the top and yeah. Cool.
Where? I'm lost.
In the chat.
In chat,
In
I
the
just pasted
chat.
a
Thank you.
deck of cards.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, now I just need to open my chat window again. This is embarrassing. There we go. Okay, got it. Deck of cards. Sweet. Okay, so single player. Sure, why not? Shuffle. Cool. Shuffle. Pick a card.
Any card? Is this your card?
Oh, there we go. Oh, that can't be right. I just shuffled them and I got the ace of spades.
Nice.
That's suspicious.
I'm shuffling again.
I am holding a physical deck of cards in my hand. If you
Let's
want
use
me to
that
just
one.
You could
draw
also
a
use
card.
that.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do that, Morgan.
I don't trust this
Just
one.
shuffle it, pick
Okay.
a card, and hold it up.
I've been shuffling since we started. So if I pull the
Wow.
ace of spades, that's just
If-
just
then we
weird.
know that
Okay.
that's what it is.
here we go. Two of diamonds.
All right, let's see here. This is the nature of the quest. 2 of diamonds. Diamonds are delivery quests. Someone needs you to get something, sometimes multiple somethings. Maybe it's cross town, but they're too busy to get it themselves. Maybe it's a 3-day trip to the next town for
Ooh.
a precious item.
One of the
Fetch
cities,
quest.
maybe.
Yeah, I think I have to go to one of the cities, which is
Nice.
the more hostile one, the one to the west. They're just they're ugh. and
Okay.
and so I have to go get something from that city, and I don't like to go to cities. Cities are not my thing. And
So the next page has details. So you got a
Okay.
2. So
yeah.
Captain of the Guard comes
Captain of
at you with it.
so
Oh man. A cop wants you to go pick up something from a hostile city. I don't think you should do this.
it's
Sounds
it's the
suspicious.
captain of the guard from the other city.
Oh.
He can't go to the city.
Yeah.
And so he's asked me to do it mainly because I seem really harmless.
Nice.
So, but I'm
He doesn't
probably
know
not.
about the mushrooms.
Yeah, I'm probably not completely harmless, but I seem pretty harmless.
You can also
Okay.
roll a d6 to see how long it's going to take.
Sure.
I
don't
also
know,
have a
but
physical D6.
Hey, there we
If
go.
you
Do
would
it.
like me to.
do it. Morgan,
Okay, here we go.
please.
Rolling.
My official randomizer.
I got a 5.
A
I am very
5.
random. You got that.
This is
that
exactly
says,
that
yeah.
like that other time. When did you last do a quest like this?
Oh, man.
Nice.
Yeah, this is exactly that. That's why I'm super reluctant to do it, because the last time I did this, somebody asked me to go into a city and do something for them, and I really felt for, it was you, Delphinicus.
Because he couldn't go into that city.
No, he couldn't because of all the people that he had broken their hearts. The
Yep.
many people that he had slept with in that city.
Delphinicus.
Oh,
So-
what are our cities named?
Good
Oh,
question.
that is a good question. Name generator.
West Cliffs for the
West
ones that-
in Welsh.
Ooh.
West in desert speak. How about Gorlewin,
All
the
right.
west one? That actually means
Ooh.
west in Welsh.
Gorlewin, great.
Ah,
Now,
Gorlewin.
and now I'll do east in Welsh. Let's Dwyrain.
Wiring.
Dwyrain, which means in Welsh it's probably pronounced like something completely different than
Like, "Duck."
Oh yeah.
Village.
There's a little in there.
Cool. So you're
Too many
so it's
Y's.
like card from Dwyrain asking you to get something in Gorlewin.
And what he's asking me to get is a a letter from his lady love there.
Mm.
I have to go pick it up and bring it back. And like I said, this is exactly like the time Delphinicus asked me to do the same thing.
Perfect.
So is this like a Romeo and Juliet kind of
Yeah,
situation?
I'm the apothecary, right? I'm
Yep.
the
Oh,
Romeo and Juliet
okay.
are cops.
right, but Romeo and Juliet.
Honestly, that would
She's
make
a,
I'd like that update to Romeo and Juliet. I'd like to see it.
oh, this is okay. Here's the modern version. His lover is actually the male captain of the guard in the
Yeah,
other city.
of course. Yep.
Okay, I'm down with it.
Do they have names? I mean, they do have names. What are they?
Sure. Bruce and Steve.
Bruce and Steve.
No, not Steve. Steve didn't want to be a cop. His parents made him be
It's a family
cop.
business. Yeah,
Yeah, but if he was never a cop, he never would have met Bruce.
that's true.
So
That's
in the
right.
end, it was worth it.
That's
These
right.
are
Or
They
is
met,
it?
Star-crossed officers.
right. And they met at like a peace summit that
Yeah.
the two cities had, and the two
Oh, yeah.
captains of the guard were there.
All
The
cops
peace
are
summit that
star-crossed.
ended in a brawl, and they somehow ended
Yeah,
in
it
the
was
same
that one.
closet.
It was that one.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
So that sounds like the first scene done, right?
So yeah, whichever one of them meets at the tavern and asks me to do that. Okay, cool. And then what is the
There's three
next part?
scenes, I see.
That-
Undertaking the quest.
Creating a quest.
Okay, wait.
Page 30 has the 3 steps. there.
Okay, yeah. So you
Okay.
did the initial request, and then it's undertaking the quest.
Undertaking the quest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would probably confer with all three of you and get your advice. I don't know that I would take any of you along just because of the attention, Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I probably suggest like just walking in and demanding it.
And yeah,
They know
I
who
want
you
to hear.
are.
I want to hear each of your suggestions for how I should do this. So Kiori says I should
Oh.
just walk in and demand it.
Okay, well, obviously my suggestion is don't do it. But given that you're gonna do it, you gotta be subtle.
I
Okay.
agree.
Okay.
I think yes. You are a double agent here. You are acting as a
Oh,
spy.
yeah.
You must go in disguise. I recommend
Yeah.
some sort of nobody suspects the religious. I think you should be some sort of priest.
Oh yeah, nobody wants to be the guy who beats up a priest.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go for monk because it just comes
Unless
more
the priest has it
naturally.
coming. Asterisks.
And the only reason I'm doing this is because you should have heard this man. His heart is broken. It's like I can't. It's only not like you, Delphinicus.
You're a softie? All right.
just out of the kind. I can't stand to hear him whining anymore. So I will go do this.
I imagine this cop just sort of following you around as you're like trying to harvest the mushrooms. He's like, and today.
Yeah. Well, eventually he's like, I might have to report these mushrooms. And then it's like, well, I guess.
Okay, I'll go.
And he's like the number one who loves those mushrooms.
Yeah.
Like his
This is
dream
brutal.
Gonna have to
date.
confiscate some.
Yeah, his dream
Yeah.
date is bringing Steve here and splitting a little of the special mushroom soup with him. But
Captain Bruce here.
right.
So
there we-
I think what I'll try to do this is like total. This would be a great comedy scene in this movie. I will actually try to get arrested somehow so that I can talk to the captain of the guard. And that's,
but are you dressed as the
Fantastic.
priest when you're getting arrested?
Yes, I'm the monk. How am I going to get arrested? How would a monk get arrested?
Start fights.
Say again.
Start
Good.
fights.
Yeah, maybe this town has like strict Who
No,
knows? Maybe...
no loitering because you're moving so slow.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes, exactly. So yeah, and and sleeping outside and things like that. And so and that's how I managed to get myself arrested. Then I can talk to the captain of the guard, and then strangely, after I talk to the captain of the guard, I'm immediately released.
Weird.
What's that about? And I make my way back. It's probably like a couple of days journey to each city. I'm thinking, like
Does Steve give you anything to give to his love in return?
Yeah, some sort of token, not a letter. I'm bringing back a letter. Well, or let's do that the other way around. Steve has a letter for me, and Bruce just gives me like a token to know that he's received it, like a scarf or something, or whether they're captains of the guard. I don't know, a jackboot. I don't know what. So a ring.
A ring.
Oh, there you go.
And and I think, and I come back like irritated, like hating that, and the reward is that these two guys are like favorably disposed to us.
Oh yeah.
To our tavern. They like us, and
maybe they send people our way.
That, and they also like if anything bad goes down, they might help us out. So
awesome.
Yeah, actually, that's a really smart move on my part.
Deliver
delicacies. Well, and when we decide to open the dispensary in the pack.
I think we kind of already have,
right?
Yeah.
When we make it official, we're not going to.
This assumption that psychedelics are illegal in this fantasy world, I don't like it.
It's just a different kind of magic. Awesome. That's that game. Is Adam up now? I think
that was a lot of fun. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go. What do I want? Let's go with a distinguished guest.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
What page is that on?
Let's see. It's on page 51.
I'm always blown away by how we all sit around thinking about how hard it is to come up with stories or to write or something like that. When you sit down and you play an RPG like this, and you've got a whole fucking world and story just like done.
Yeah.
It's like so easy. It's amazing.
I'm not seeing it on 51.
That's because it's not on 51. Look at that. Keep going. 67.
67. Okay.
That's not 51.
Yeah, that's not 51.
Well, I like to think this burst of inspiration has come from the glimpses of other people's pets that I keep getting. That usually helps me a lot. Because my own pets are worthless in that regard.
Someone important is in town, and they're almost here. The tavern has to be at its best for this guest. After all, they might leave a generous tip. As a group, figure out a few details about the important guest. I'm thinking this. I want this. Like, this is somebody who, like, writes up like the sights to see in this part of the desert, and like.
Maybe there's someone who like travels around all over the place, and like
they write those famous travel books.
Yeah.
This is the equivalent of a Michelin star in this universe.
Oh, okay.
Or like those old bathroom reading books that just have lists of all the restaurants in Tennessee.
Man. Well, the fact that we have Rord and Gamzee in the back is definitely going to work in our favor, right?
Maybe. Maybe are they like a goblin, like some
sure, yeah,
some small but insatiable creature.
Oh man,
can it be like two goblins actually? Like they're like
in a trench coat.
Decked out like fancy clothes and jewels and stuff, like super civilized goblins, but with that rapacious hunger underneath,
Love it.
Something like the not tourism, but like, you know, like some they're like, I can imagine they're like twins, like the Property Brothers or something.
Oh,
Like, they're like these goblin twins who go around and
oh no.
The League Brothers.
Sure.
League Brothers.
Distance, you know.
7 League Brothers.
There you go. 7.
That's
League.
good.
They're not twins. There's 7 of them. This is just
Oh,
2 of them.
no. Okay, fine. 7 of them.
Okay.
Yeah, goblins
Okay,
have
yeah.
kids in a litter.
Yeah.
Yeah, of 7. Yeah. the
Okay,
7 League-
so 7 League Brothers that print the world famous 7 League
Mhm.
travel guides
Mhm.
There
that
you go.
everybody knows and
Mhm.
reads, and they're
Mhm.
distributed by Fantasy Printing Press, I guess.
And we've definitely heard of them before. I feel like they're fairly important. Like these,
Oh yeah.
we're not making this up. This is how you get your name out there.
Oh, what are their names?
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
and if anybody wasn't sure, Rorden Gamzee lets them know.
Yeah.
I imagine they should rhyme.
Wait, do we need 7 of them or 2?
We only need the 2.
Yeah, maybe they
Okay.
split up. They don't all go everywhere together.
Yeah. That's how they cover so much ground.
Right.
That's right. It's a family business.
Yeah, they send 6 pairs off and one stays home and writes.
Did somebody
They
say
rotate.
like French type names for these guys? Because I would appreciate that. That sounds good to me.
Sure.
Oh, French.
Yeah.
What's French for goblin?
Let's see.
This is like I'm giving away my like naming secret.
Yeah, same.
That's not very good actually. I don't think. Luton.
Oh,
Luton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looting and booting.
Luton and Booten.
There you go.
Luton Booten.
Gluten for Luton. Dootin.
Yeah, they could all rhyme with Luton.
Yeah.
Luton
Like
Booten.
Newton.
Looting and booting.
Tootin.
Looting and booting league. Cool.
Luton and Booten League. Oh goodness.
Oh, challenges. Cool.
Okay. One player will play
Okay.
the guest. Others are the challengers.
Okay, so there's a challenge for each of our tavern ratings, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Each of our
I see.
tavern ratings.
I see. Who wants to play Luton and Booten?
I want to be the one sort of defending our like what's the middle one, like decor atmosphere.
I'll play
Okay.
Looting and booting. That sounds fun.
All right.
And
I
I
guess
can
we don't
defend.
have we don't have to do these in order, I suppose.
No. Do it whichever way you like.
Okay, sure.
So I guess, yeah. So it says like we'll describe our preparations. Whoops, that is. In order to pass the challenge, you need to flip a coin. You get a number of attempts equal to your cuisine rating. Okay, this is the cuisine challenge. I see. I was thinking I would do the atmosphere challenge.
Well, let's do the atmosphere challenge first then.
All right. So here's what
Okay,
here
go
is
ahead.
what Delphinicus does to make the tavern look and feel welcoming. There are definitely special
welcome.
decorations. I have worked with Weaver to like, you know, we've got like a big banner that says like, you know, like it's got like a big like picture of like a, you know, a smiling frog dogs, and it's like, you know, frog in the hole welcomes like
They have special welcomes in
Yeah.
Goblinish and all the
Yeah,
different
like
dialects.
sure, yeah, I know that real good. And and like yeah, like there's I think one thing I think is like really brilliant is that I have gotten us some like special you know, not just like our like sort of like big mugs that we've been serving, you know, I've got like some very like fancy sort of like flutes to serve like our beverages for them in, and I'm
Ooh,
and I personally am
we
like
even cleaned them this time.
yeah, I'm personally softly playing sort of like, you know, some subtle background, you know, extremely subtle background music on the harp. So I think, yeah, that's what I've done to make the tavern look and feel especially welcoming. and now I flip a coin. I get a number of attempts equal to my atmosphere rating.
You get an extra one if you use an experience. So do you want to
Do I
use
do that?
double fingers
Do I
on
declare
it?
that now?
I don't know. Let's see.
I can. I mean, I'm planning on using the experience.
I think
so
it's
might
up
as
to you.
well.
Yeah.
I'm planning on using my was it magic fingers? Devil's fingers. To produce a skill with an instrument. And I'm going to flip.
I have a physical real life coin if that's needed.
I do too, actually.
Nice.
I'm about to flip it 3 times.
Oh, goodness gracious, internet.
And I'm looking for heads.
Mhm.
Okay. There's a tails. There's a tails.
One more.
There's a heads.
Yeah.
Good.
So if one of my coin comes up heads, I pass. The guest describes a special memory they will always have of their stay.
Yeah, I think they I think they are taking notes in their old goblin books and kind of sniffing around oh, these are clean and this is very nice here. But when you start playing, they just kind of stop and like ignore everything else and just like pay attention for as long, even though you're trying to be like subtle and in the background, they're just like, no, keep playing. And the memory that they have is that they try and like test you a little bit, and they try to ask for a song that is from a faraway place that you, by being an adventurer, happen to know, and it's from the lands where the goblins live, and so they're just like weeping little goblin tears when they hear the songs of their homelands.
Oh, reminds me of Goblin Mama.
Yeah, you reminds me of Goblin Mama. Did you pick a new town experience for using?
I did. Do we do that now? Yes.
Yeah,
I clicked off my devil's fingers and I took jury rigging to invent my way out of a sticky situation.
Awesome.
Yes.
And as we get the town experiences, we can also use those in the challenges or scenes or whatever as well.
Awesome.
Oh, and as we get the town experiences, our adventure experiences go away, right?
Yeah. They're not used. They're not able to be used anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So now somebody else does the cuisine or the
I could do the cuisine defense.
Here.
Go for it.
Yeah. So some time has passed now, and we have multiple varieties of mushrooms. We got like lion's mane and cordyceps and all this different
we
stuff.
do.
And so yes, and so the stews are getting better and more complex, and also if you microdose, they won't even notice. They'll just love it. So yeah, experimenting with just like super subtle psychotropic effects, magic effects in the stew. So let's see. So that'll be like I'm gonna take the best of what we've grown and make this really special stew with the help of Gordon or Rorden, excuse me. And there's a lot of me slowly stirring this pot and him like trying to reach in or put something in and me smacking his hand. There's a lot of that sort of thing, and like grumbling and shoving in the kitchen, and two grumpy dudes trying to cook together.
Nice.
I just got that name, by the way.
That's all right. And so let's see, what is our what else anything else special we've come up with? Our best wines that have been procured from merchants, just all the good stuff. But yeah, our mushroom stew is the centerpiece, and desert mushroom stew, and So what's our cuisine rating?
2.
It's 2, right? Yeah.
2. Oh boy. You want to do 2 coin flips for me,
Sure.
Adam? Sure.
Did you use any of your
Yeah,
challenges?
I'm gonna use so do I use
You
an
can
adventure experience?
I
you
think
can also
either
use a
one.
town experience. Yeah.
Okay, well, for town experience, then I will use the preservation, make food taste better and last longer. So,
Obvious.
there you go.
Let's flip 3.
Okay,
Tails.
nice.
Tails.
Keeping it fun.
Heads again.
Yay!
Uh,
Okay, so the guest player describes what they most enjoy about the meal.
mhm. And I think it's less about the meal, because the meal is good, but I think it's more about the experience after the meal, because each individual mushroom has its own thing, but it takes a certain skill blending the different flavors of magic together.
You almost have to be able to speak to the mushrooms.
Yeah, exactly. And so that really brings out like every little note in the music, every little color on the tapestries in the wall, and like as they eat and drink more, like you've blended the mushrooms, so like, oh, when they get the second course, like that's specially tuned to bring out the flavor in this food. Yeah, they're just and again, voracious little goblins, so they're just, and not only, they usually just like shovel food into their mouths, and they're like, the volume is kind of what they're after, but they're actually like, they're still voracious, but they're like enjoying every moment of it, like inhuman. Yeah, they love that.
How's your connection, Morgan? You blacked out for a second there. Was that you, or was that your connection? No.
It just dropped me for a second, and now it's yelling at me again.
Oh, no.
And
Okay.
I am unsure of my state.
Okay.
Okay, I think real quick, I'm gonna try leaving and then coming back in and
Awesome.
see
Okay.
if that helps at all, instead of it just kicking me out.
Cool.
So 2 seconds. Sorry, guys.
Sure.
Leave.
Maybe she could do the service challenge when she gets back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like this one.
Yeah.
this was fun. Fancy goblins.
Excuse me. There she is.
Like half speed. It's very wonky.
I can hear you okay.
I'm like time slipping over here.
Hello?
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's more like y'all being like delayed for me.
Oh, we get a little lag.
It's very wonky.
Okay, we'll take that into
Yeah.
account.
Lag and hacks. And me possibly there being a problem with me having 50 tabs open. Could be an issue. Who knows? Okay.
50.
I think
That's
you've
nothing.
been shanghaied into the service challenge.
Yes.
Oh, fun times. Well, obviously, Rorden Gamzee figure out very quickly that I'm hopeless in the kitchen. So I get kicked out too. So I run the lines. I take out all the stews and bring in new soup spoons or whatever whenever anybody needs anything. But I've also got to like maintain the actual like atmosphere of the place, because I mean we're in the middle of a desert, and it takes very careful planning to get a decent room temperature in the middle of it. You have to have the bright windows open to catch the breeze, but you can't have them open when you got your sudden storms. You got to make sure to keep all the frog dogs out of the actual place, which is harder than it sounds because they're everywhere. and they like to get into stuff, as frog dogs are wont to do.
I think come up through the floor.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they absolutely come through the floor, and there's a lot of strategically placed like planters that get moved around every so often.
You get to play whack-a-mole.
Oh yeah,
Literal whack-a-mole.
okay.
Yeah.
So on family game night, we get rid of all the planners, and you know, it's a fun game for all the kids, but we have classy people here tonight. So you can't have whack-a-frog-mole going on during fancy game night. But yeah, I'm you know, mostly spending a lot of my night getting yelled at by by Ron Gamzee, and just trying to make sure everything's running, you know, clean, make sure that they're you know, what they came in like a really fancy like traveling wagon. So, you know, I had to take care of that too. Make sure, you know, none of the Pegasi get into that, because like I said, they're the worst combination of horse and bird. So, you know, they like to just get into stuff and pick it apart if they get the chance. And, you know, they're all fancy and stuff. So there's a lot of cool shiny stuff all over their wagon to make sure it's like locked away, and that their horses, their travel animals, whatever they are, aren't getting into fights with the Pegasi. So I got stuck. I got stuck with all of that, which is fantastic.
The more you explore it, Pegasus are just the worst.
I know, they really do suck. You know, they're smart and they're mean, and they're not great. They're almost more trouble than they're worth, almost. But the babies are cute. You know, it's like the little baby Pegasi in Fantasia.
Yeah.
Oh, it breaks your heart every
I
time.
remember them.
Oh yeah, they're so cute. They're so cute, like scooting down rainbows and stuff. Can't resist it. But oof, because our service rating is 1, right?
One.
Oh boy.
Unless you want to use an experience.
Oh yeah, I'm okay. I think I will use my endurance. Nothing can stop you.
Yeah.
So I'm
stop us
on a roll.
That is
right.
I'm gonna make it through this service.
One way or the other.
Kills me.
This
One
is so
way
funny, like-
or another.
we're like one of those places that the food is good and the atmosphere is good, but the staff is just like abusive. It's terrible.
Oh yeah. There's always somebody crying. There's the designated crying corner. That's just, you know, in a minute. You're just like, okay, go take a few. Go take a minute.
That's 2 coins, it looks like.
Okay, 2 coins. Here we go. Lucky penny, lucky penny. That is I dropped it. Okay. Once more.
Suspense.
Once more. Okay, that's a tails.
Good, keeping it
Lucky penny,
interesting.
lucky penny. Here we go. That's a heads. Okay.
Yay!
Yeah, there we
Suspense
go.
on
3
this
for
one.
3.
That was very
Um,
dramatic.
So we describe an interesting conversation we had with someone at the tavern. Let's see, who are NPCs again?
Oh, we got
I think they have an
Got
interesting
Donna.
conversation with Rorden. Um,
well, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Of course,
they
they've
know
heard
each
of
other,
each other,
probably.
obviously.
So I think at some point Rorden comes out to yell at you about something, and I think he almost did that only as an excuse to come out and introduce himself. And you know, the conversation is interesting mostly because Gordon knows that the goblins are very the goblins are very self-centered, so he spends most of the conversation asking them about themselves, about where they've traveled, what their favorite places were, all that. And the goblins just love talking about themselves. So that counts as an interesting conversation for them.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Excellent. Oh man, guys.
Cool.
We
So
we We
You
we
passed
all
them
earned
all.
we all earned an apron. We're
Nice.
all going on to the next round. We
If you,
did it.
if, you, if you pass 2 or more challenges, which we did, you succeed in impressing your guest. The guest describes a lavish gift they present to the tavern before they leave. This gift instantly helps you upgrade one of your tavern ratings.
Service.
Yeah, service. I think what they leave is I think so. I think you said they came in a couple like fancy carriages and stuff. I think
Oh,
they
yeah,
leave one of their carriages.
Oh.
And
Oh.
I guess like the footman or whoever that comes with it might be our new NPC. And they are
Oh,
probably
cool.
good at service. So yeah, we got a sweet ride and a fancy boy.
Fancy boy.
That's a good name for a game, man. A sweet ride and a fancy boy.
So we want to bump up service to 2.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
Who's our fancy boy or girl or thing?
Pick a language.
He's a
any language.
valet. He's like a pro valet.
Ooh. Maybe it's like is it like an automaton or a construct of something?
Yes.
Yes.
Little robot valet boy.
Like
Robot butler.
Like some kind of golem, like a little what would it be made out of? Like
Tin.
Tin golem. Yeah, something like that.
See.
He can't do well in the desert. Poor
Blick.
guy.
Blick is Dutch for tin.
Blick.
His name's Blick.
Oh no. Guys, I love Blick. I'd die for Blick.
Looks good.
Yeah, he's just like a little R2D2 sized dude.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna
There's a
protect
scene for
Blick
that.
for oh my goodness.
All right, we're 2s across the board. Pretty good.
Can we
Excellent.
take a break?
Yeah,
I
absolutely. Let's
second
do
that
that.
motion.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's take
I'm gonna
5.
dog out.
Okay. See,
Awesome.
yeah, I'm
It
gonna
was
take-
you who let the dogs out. Oh, okay.
There we go. I gotta take Rocket's got to go back to the wife. So
Awesome.
Aw.
Cool.
See you in a
See
bit.
y'all in 5.
See you in a bit.
I'm just gonna keep Google Translate open. That was Adam's game, right?
Yes. I think it's my turn.
Nice.
Yeah, that was Adam's game.
Mhm.
What is it about gaming that makes me want to eat? Just like pigging out this whole time we're playing.
Yeah.
Creativity burns calories and you need to replace them or
I'm
something.
going with that. Thank you.
At the very least, there's a mental burn there.
Yeah. I just suck down liters of water just because I don't talk that much during my day. So like, all right.
Yeah.
I need to
I
keep hydrated.
spend all my days in isolation yelling only at my cats, and so speaking it's very weird. Ton.
Mhm.
Got all A's in my first semester of grad school, Mark.
Nice.
Yeah,
You liking
Gold
that?
star.
yeah. I am liking it. And
Awesome.
even more than I thought I would. So it's awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. I keep thinking about going back to school, and then I remember that I'm a terrible student, so I don't.
Well, that's how I felt for 30 years, Morgan. And now that I'm back, I'm really enjoying it. So, you may want to consider sooner than that. Just saying.
Give it a couple decades though.
Well, it's hard because I think about it constantly because I work at a university, so I can't help but think about it all the time. But then I also see like both sides of stuff. So
I worked.
to see the nitty gritty, the underbelly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of higher education.
Yeah.
Where do you work?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I work at UTD.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I worked at UTA for 10 years, but that was a while ago.
From Texas.
It's backwards, but there we go. Yeehaw. Those are my playing cards today. But yeah, it's neat, especially since I'm working from home forever now. So
Yeah.
although I miss all the free food. There was copious amounts of free food working on campus. So tragic. Okay. So it is my turn now. One of my cats is going nuts out of the corner of my eye, but they are okay. I think maybe in the rhythm of things. I feel like
that will be the last game.
we've
So
updated. Oh, that's the very last
Yeah.
game. Okay. Well, in that case,
we're getting
what was
kinda
off the
close.
clock?
yeah.
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 Off the clock, I think would be good. That kind of has that
Awesome.
like right after the goblins leave, maybe. Is when this
Oh,
is
yeah.
happening.
Oh yeah, we
Okay,
are burning through our adventure experiences.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't think I've used any of mine yet. Oh goodness.
You used
think you did in that last
endurance.
No, I used one of
Yeah.
them. You're right. I
Yeah.
used one of them. Okay.
Yeah, I've only used
so-
one, but
Any second now, I will find what I was
Page
looking
50.
for. Oh, I found it. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, off the clock. And I immediately lost it again because I clicked the button too much. Okay. There we go. It's been a while since you've all had a proper day off. Things are slower right now, and you can get away with closing up for a day. Where do you go after the tables are wiped down? Who's heard every story you have about the worst people who have walked in? Okay, anyone can play. Each player describes the first thing their character is doing to wind down, let loose, or otherwise forget about work for a while. Take turns. On your turn, you can do a scene alone or ask one or more players to join you. Start by choosing a prompt from the list below or coming up with your own. What's going on here is pretty flexible. On one turn, you might do a scene alone, but on your next turn, you might jump back in with the group. If nothing comes to mind, you can pass or look at the time and realize you have to get back to work. When everyone has passed in a row or gone back to work, the game is over. Okay. So as I imagine that this is not too long after we had our very successful visit of the 7 League brothers. And so, of course, I'm exhausted because I did all this running around back and forth. And the idea of getting all the way back to my room, that's just not going to cut it. But it turns out the best place to catch a few Z's where people don't bother you a lot because people aren't supposed to go back there is it's in the mushroom tent. And it has kind of a weird smell, but once you get used to it, and the ground, it's very like soft ground, and it's kind of nice in there. So I just go in there. Oh yeah, it's great. And and most of the time I get annoyed. People try to bother me during nap time. This is both for my character and me for reference, but yeah, I don't mind if Heinefall wanders in because he like communes with the mushrooms or whatever I don't know what he's doing with the mushrooms, but whatever he does, it doesn't make a lot of noise. So I like to stretch out. I claim that I too am communing with the mushrooms. I'm getting a lot of lessons on communing with Heinefall.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I've got one. There's sometimes sparring is a perfect way to blow off steam. What fights do you remember most fondly? I think I'm gonna check off my duelist Master of the Blade with this one, and this is back in the plaza, and kind of like maybe just going through some forums or whatever, practicing idly, and I think the kids come back, and this time they ask me stories, like they see me using my sword and they're like, tell us about the time when you fought someone. And I start just telling stories, but I wind up actually like getting them sticks or whatever and having them act it out, like, okay, you're me and you're the crew of my ship and you're the the people from this volcano men who came and tried to, and we had a gun. Okay, you run over there now, jump on him. And I sort of like just choreograph all these little battles with them, both because it's fun for me and because it just exhausts them. And I think all of their parents are rather grateful for me. I think I'm gonna make that the perfect gift for my town experience. Know exactly what people want. They want their children to go to sleep when they come home, and it also exhausts me. And I think I find my hole and curl up.
Oh, do you like sleep in a little hole? Do you sleep under a rock?
I think I have a little den in there.
That's cool.
Slytherin. I can go. I'm going to visit a friend, and the friend is going to be Weaver. I think that like I mentioned earlier, like sort of what I think I'm doing, and I realize I haven't been doing much of since we've been taking care of running the business for all our waking hours, is like working on this grand like epic poem, and I think in the moments I get the time off, I feel like Weaver is sort of like the one person who I think of as like cultured and refined enough to sort of be somebody whose judgment I would trust. Is like, is this good? Is there something I missed about like this area that I'm describing. You've been there more recently than I have. And like, yeah, I think sort of, yeah, I think that's sort of that's kind of the typical extent of our relationship is me sort of like telling some story and like, and like I'm checking with him. It's like, is this right? Did I remember this right? And like, yeah, that's just sort of, I think wherever, I think probably she has her own like housing at this point that she's set up separately. I think she's probably like the wealthiest person around, maybe.
Cool.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have something. Whatever my name is, Heinefall has not really interacted with the kids yet, but I have a they're sort of afraid of him, but that and he likes it that way. But
crazy old man.
Yeah. So I have this vision of him like, on his sleeping and puttering around in the mushroom gardens and in the gardens and stuff, and napping and puttering and napping and just really taking it easy and going slow and looking at things. And the kids, like, I can see like kids peeking into the tent or over, and kind of watching, and he knows they're there, and as they all start to gather, and then he just like goes, "Rah!" they all run away. But then maybe a little later they all come around, and he has like some baby frog dogs that have lost their mom, and that he's raising them, and lets the kids pet them. And so just in his grumpy old but actually nice man thing. So.
They're so ugly, but they're so cute.
Exactly.
They're all wrinkly.
Yeah, very much like a pug puppy.
Nice.
Not so wet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very wet.
Oh. Can we commission fan art of the frog dogs? Little
Absolutely.
That would
Good
be fun.
frog dog pogs. Is that what the babies are called? Frog dog pogs?
Yeah, frog dog pug. FDP for short.
Oh man.
Do we
can
feel
keep
like
going,
we've been
right?
off the clock, or we can keep going if we like to? I think I've gone back to work.
Yeah,
I've gone
me
back to
too.
work.
That's all. I mean, really,
Yeah,
it's just.
I am.
Yeah, I'm just doing the same stuff, just maybe it's tiny bit faster. So.
I imagine that's like, I'm like, oh, I still like, who wants to go swimming with me?
Oh,
you are going. I was like, do you want to go? We're still resting, right? We're still relaxing. Well, then I finally go for a swim, like alone in the middle of summer. That like, I think like I like basically down one of the larger frog dog tunnels. Like there's sort of like some underground cavern that has some comfortable swimming.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm the only one who knows about this. Fine, nobody wanted to come.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Thea always intends to just have these short little cat naps, but they always, start edging into like 30 minutes and then just suddenly sitting straight up because she swears she hears Rorden calling her name. It's like pulling a sword out at the same time. Like, absolutely ready. I wasn't asleep. You can't prove anything because I sleep with one eye open. But like, there's no recognition there. Like things are happening, like old guys showing off, frog dog pogs, but nothing, no recognition to the adorable, ugly, cute little things that are going on. But it's just the hint of Roden's voice as they're sitting straight up. And I've gone through a lot of like physically taxing stuff, but slaying monsters is more of a sprint than a marathon. As soon as you find them, the fights usually don't last that long. So this is really tested my endurance. So
Nice.
Every time you say sleep with one eye open, I always want to go clutching your pillow tight.
Pillow's tight, yeah.
And also, I'm posting a link in the chat, which is kinds of mushrooms that grow in the desert.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Not
very
that,
informative.
Not that we need to follow, Earth things in this world, but
But those are some fun looking mushrooms.
yeah.
Desert shaggy mane. Nice.
Yeah. So it does happen. So there you go.
I think it's time for some wear and tear, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Take turns describing what work we're doing in the tavern. Choose one to get a prompt to get started, or make up your own.
Rolling, scrolling.
What page is this again?
This is 33 and 34.
Okay.
Let's see what are my experiences left to use.
Oh, I'm there. Let's see.
Oh, I got it. Clearly, of course. I got one. I noticed everyone flagging a bit in a frustrating stretch of the work. So we're probably still doing some cleanup in the aftermath of the League brothers. And there's just a lot of like, I know goblins are messy. A lot of scrubbing, a lot of fixing broken things.
It's part of their culture. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just the way they are. And folks are lagging a little bit, and I think I am definitely going to use my bravado, never falter, use my last adventure experience. And as I sort of like whoever is like scrubbing a wall, I sort of like start humming something in time with the scrubbing and slowly engage everyone in some sea shanties to lift the spirits as we work. I think
I thought it was about to turn into a stomp.
I mean, almost, maybe. That's basically what happens on pirate ships anyway.
There you go.
I think that's going to satisfy everyday needs of levity and motivation.
Oh yeah.
That's my last adventure experience.
There was an accident and someone was hurt.
Yeah.
So like one of those big, like, we were going around one day and one of those big like rainstorms came out.
Yeah.
Like, and this was while Blick was like bringing in like a shipment, and like Blick turns out that like this dude just made all of metal, can't really handle just like torrential rain and wind and mud and dust blowing around as so well, and like after he like sort of just gets like caked in mud and is sort of like frozen in place and dry and like can't move. I find him afterward just sort of like how and
Oil can.
I take some time, like, like I'm like, oh, I find him, like I clean him, like just kind of scrub him down a bit, and then like he's still seeming a bit depressed, and I think I just like I remind him of all the how important he is to all of us, and like what, and I even say it's like I think Thea wants to be friends with you, and I think you've got it in you to like just I talk him up to like approach you and like try to strike up a friendship. I'm like just if you're not like, and that's my inspiration that I use to power up Blick.
Nice.
And that's my last adventure experience.
My gosh, I'm falling behind.
Well,
I love that like leveling up or running up is like getting rid of your adventure experience.
We're retiring.
I'm still too much of an adventurer. Got to get rid of that.
Yeah, it was harder for you to leave the life.
That's true.
To leave the life than others. For me, it was easy because I've been at it too long.
Kind of reminds me of misspent youth in that way. That like you turn your stats into something else, and that's how the game ends.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I'm gonna use my adventure experience, force of nature, bend the land around you to your will. And so yeah, a problem with the crops, not just the mushrooms, but some other things we grow too, is obviously there's too much sunshine, like stuff gets burnt out. And some of the sentient cacti are actually pretty large. And so I have like spoken to them and gotten them to move into a position to provide shade at certain times. And that's the and that's my force of nature. And then you can take a town experience, right, too?
Yep.
So I'll take bounty, or harvests are large and exquisite.
Nice.
So there we go. Adventuring druid to peaceful druid, tavern keeper, transition complete.
Okay. Well, okay. So as you point out, I'm having a hard time leaving life. So I inexplicably do carry my sword that is about the same size as me pretty much everywhere I go. Like, it's strapped to my back as I'm doing everything. But so we helped build the new kitchen, and interestingly, one of the things we added into our kitchen is the fantasy equivalent of a pizza oven. And it turns out that my giant sword, my legendary weapon that has helped strike down many a foe,
Got it.
perfect for sliding those babies in and out of the oven.
I love it so much.
You get like 5 of them on there. And like the little cut in the blade is perfect for sliding them off and sliding them on. It's perfect. And so there's just that moment of choice where, recently there was like a kid's birthday party or something. So we had like 50 mushroom pizzas going out of the oven. And it was, we can keep using the same old one we've been using, or, my giant sword can, finally help create joy instead of destruction.
I
So,
love that so much.
That's so cool.
that's what happened to my legendary weapon.
Which town experience are you taking for that?
Thea, I like you said that like this weapon was like based like Guts' sword on Berserk. So I'm like imagining one of those scenes where it's like it just like spends like a whole page on the back swing, except you're just flipping pizzas. Like it's like
Yeah. Exactly.
Awesome.
I'm trying to get a picture of the sword.
Yeah, I'll take oh yes. Oh yeah, you just type in Guts' sword. You'll big old honking
Oh, I see. Okay.
stabby thing.
I found the Wikipedia on the manga, so here we go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of had like the Cloud Strife Buster blade.
Oh yeah. It's like it's a
that still
Buster
works.
sword kind of type thing.
That still works.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. It's huge. Okay.
Well, obviously flipping pizzas, I got really good. Like, I'm still pretty hopeless in the kitchen, but I got good at flipping pizzas. So I guess I should take finesse, acute manual dexterity.
I think you're still short on one town experience too, so you can take both.
No, I have
because you get a free one.
I have repair and finesse.
But you should have 3.
I should have 3. Oh, yeah. Well, Mason. I build strong things.
Nice.
Because I'm a tough lady. I make tough stuff with my tough lady arms.
Yeah, you made the basins for the new water delivery system.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
True.
And maybe the new pizza oven.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we get to pick.
Made the new pizza oven.
We get to upgrade one of our ratings.
What are our ratings? Let's see.
2 across the board.
Boy,
I feel like atmosphere is like what we've been working on.
I agree, and just the setting is just, it's very atmospheric. So yeah. Let's do a 3 atmosphere.
You good with that, Morgan?
Oh yeah. It's awesome.
A beautiful artwork, abundant light,
There we go.
serviceable mattresses.
Sounds right.
Cool. And I think it's Ryan's game.
Okay.
Coming up on 10.
Do we have do we? I'm starting to get concerned about finishing, since it's like 13 till.
Do we want to just go into the final one, since
Would that be okay?
Morgan only has the one adventure experience left?
Yeah, would that be okay with you, Morgan?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so let's go into at the end, in the rhythm of things. So time passes, rough edges are sanded down. Before you know it, life in town has become like breathing. You gather in your favorite part of the tavern and wonder where the time has gone. This is the last game everyone plays. To start, take turns describing a habit that your character has picked up from living here, then proceed to ending questions. I think clearly my character's habit is between doing all the stuff at the tavern, basically putting on like a nightly show for the kids. Storytelling show.
Excellent.
I'll go next. Oh, you want to go?
Well, oh, go ahead.
Okay. I think Delphinicus.
Yeah, no, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Delphinicus's habit is that, you know, he started out just like feeding the cats on his walks every mornings. I think now like he just sort of has this morning walk that like is like probably 10 miles long in total, where he like winds about like all the tents and just sort of like, you know, says like good morning to everybody, and like you know, just like asks people, you know, like ask people how you're doing, and any news. And I think basically just like, you know, just basically goes around like the entire town and asks everyone who will talk to him, like, you know, anything new, just chit chat. That I think that's his new habit that he's picked up.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, I originally stuck around because I apparently have that touch for fixing stuff, and now just whenever anybody needs anything done, I'm there. If it's to just, you know, carry something or, you know, bang something a few times till it just starts working. And, you know, so I'm Mrs. Fix It. And I also, you know, I again, still hopeless in the kitchen, but pizzas, I love making pizzas. It's fantastic. It's like the only thing I can do, but it's very soothing. There's a process to it that I really love. You know, punching the dough really helps relieve stress. Yeah.
So sort of like Delphinicus's walk that he takes, but like I spend a lot of time looking at things in the garden and puttering in the garden, but then I also walk around but I check in with all like the animals and the plants and the dirt and the rocks, and just like, you know, it's very, very much like that. Just have a routine of speaking to or checking in with all these different things. That's the habit I picked up.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then we take turns asking each other questions. Come up with your own or use the questions below. The game's over when everyone has answered 2 questions each. I'm going to ask a question of Thea. If you got sick, who would come care for you?
Well, obviously, because of Delphinicus's encouragement, Blick comes to check up on me. Like he doesn't quite understand, you know, human ailments, but, you know, I've helped, you know, kind of fix him up a couple of times, so he wants to do the same for me. So
I love it.
Yeah.
He comes with a screwdriver and some oil. He's like
yes. He's not efficient, but I'm very moved.
His heart's in the right place.
Yeah, because, you know, I spent a lot of time adventuring on my own. I didn't always have, you know, like backup. So I think it's very sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
I guess you ask someone else a question then. Just go around that way.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's see. Heineful, what is your favorite memory?
Oh, that's tough. There's so many good ones. Geez. Now I've got to go look at all the different things that happened. Let's see.
Is this your flashback montage?
Yeah, this is the montage. This is the clip show.
Oh, there we
We've
go.
had a lot of good times here. Um, either I'm gonna cheat, pick two. It's either having the frog dogs dig new water tunnels, or getting stoned and walking around naked for a couple of days. It's one of those two.
You're right. That is cheating because I don't think you actually remember that. I'm not
There you go.
convinced.
Just remember this foggy time that I felt really great after it. So.
You remember the feeling.
There you go. Oh boy. Okay, let's see. I will ask Delphinicus. Let's see. What do you miss about adventuring?
I think I miss you know, the knowledge that like going to a new place, and especially like knowing that like I would never have to come here again. Like you could do things and not face repercussions. I think I miss that sort of like freedom, knowing that like, you know, I stay in the town, like I see everybody and every morning. I'm gonna see them again tomorrow. And like it was kind of nice not having that responsibility.
So would you say that staying in one place has made you a better person?
No.
Zero hesitation. Gotta love it.
I'm gonna go back at you, Heinefall.
Right.
Yeah. What do you look forward to every week?
Ooh.
I guess that's your second question.
Yeah. He would I think Heinefall would say something like there's just this way with that at night when the sun sets and the moon rises, and you can hear the frog dogs and you can see the cactus just moving barely, you know. It would just, I think for him it's all about like this the location and the earth, and he really just loves being out here, you know. So yeah, looks forward to all the natural state of things here and this very unique environment. Like he spent all his time in forests and kind of forgot that the desert was alive too, you know.
Yeah.
All right, so I will go to Kiori and I will ask you, that's a good one. What's something you can't believe you lived without back when you were adventuring?
Ooh. Something I can't believe I lived without. I think even though I traveled all over and saw a lot of different places, most of my time was on the ship. I think it's just the variety that comes with having the people come through instead of me traveling around. Different foods, see different people bringing their stuff here instead of kind of going as a settler or whatever, kind of seeing what I could take from people, so seeing what people bring. So that kind of variety. People
come to your home instead of you going to theirs.
Yeah. And probably doing terrible things to them. A much more pleasant situation.
Yeah.
I've got one for Delphinicus.
Okay.
Do you have any plans to travel soon?
Do I have any plans to travel soon? I think the answer is no, actually. I think you know, despite like, you know, there are some things I miss. I genuinely like it here. Like this is like you asked if I was a better person. It's like I don't know if I'm a better person, but I am a happier person, right? I think that it's just, I think I feel like I'm nowhere close to finishing my great work, my magnum opus, and I'm certainly not going to travel until that's done, until I've gotten the final okay from Weaver that it's a finished product.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, Thea. What was the hardest part of fitting into town?
Well, adventuring a lot of times, I saw, people and things as obstacles, so, because a lot of times, civilians only get in the way when you're slaying monsters. So at the best, most of the time, people were just annoyances. At the worst, they were crazy cultists that worshipped a giant crab god, and it was just problematic. But but over time, I got to see, all the troubles that individuals had in stop chewing on that that individuals had in their own lives, and how I could use my strength for more than just beating up giant crab gods, but physically helping them in some way. You might say that I could use my brute strength to help them in well, whatever. Hey, slipping it in there right under the wire at the last minute, even if it was something as simple as someone needed that shelf moved. I can move your couch. I'm there for that. And I found fulfillment from that, but it was a really hard transition to view that as irritations to helping out with the community.
Nice. I think the last question goes to me then, right? Everyone else got to?
Yeah.
Oh, everyone else got to? Okay, so let's see, Kiori, what are you most proud of yourself for?
I think I'm most proud of the relationship with the kids in town, because originally I kind of saw them just like kind of like they had like, oh, they're just like annoying, they're kind of in the way, and like I have my crew around me, and like I kind of came into this like, oh, I think like looking at y'all or the NPCs like as my new crew, because that was just kind of the mindset. But I think not necessarily like a mentor to the kids or anything, but like someone they can learn stuff from and be excited by, and just like, and there's a certain like openness that you need to interact with children in that way, instead of like telling people what to do and being told what to do. So it's kind of fun turning into more of a storyteller than a ravager. Cool. And that's Stewpot. Done.
Nice.
That was a lot
awesome.
of fun.
That was a surprising amount of fun.
Yeah.
Do you have time for that?
Yeah. After games, I would like to do what's called Stars and Wishes. Basically, we go around, say either specific or general things that we like that either people did or we did in the game. Wishes are usually like something that we'd like to see in the next episode, but since we don't, maybe like more like questions we have about the game or anything. So just let's go around in turn. Start with Adam or Ryan. I guess you're starting.
Yeah, I think this is an exceptional group of players. I think this is like a very creative group of players. Like nobody had any problem just describing and throwing out a whole bunch of stuff. Like I feel like people who had played sort of more war game based RPGs and stuff would have really struggled. Like it's like, oh, I'm supposed to be telling the story, and everybody here just had no issue with that. Like, and I loved all the connections we made. Like it was like we set up, for me, my experience is like where I learned this is it's like a really good improv show. Like you set up this stuff all at the beginning, and then it all gets used, at different points, and it just really like like the first fun thing that I introduced, like the cacti, and then I got to use them like toward the end. Like it's like a nice full circle. And yeah, you all I just really love this group of players. It was excellent.
Cool.
So
We may share an improv
Thank you.
teacher at one point. Like I know Mark and I share have taken classes with the same person. You might have as well.
yeah.
Who was it?
Jill Bernard.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Jill.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Jill's my girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No clue what's
And
going
Thea
on
is
there.
just a natural. So,
Oh, I appreciate that. Well, it's funny you said that because, like I said, I've done D&D, and a lot of times like moving forward with the story-based stuff is the hardest part. And I think part of it is the mindset of, the wargaming element, in that there is like a specific goal that you're, there's the right answer in a way a lot of the times, especially like the one of the groups that I guess I'm using modules for both groups. So it's kind of like you're trying to specifically chug towards a certain direction, which isn't always bad. But yeah, no, this is great. I like being in an environment that helped me stretch those muscles a lot. And I like that, it never seemed like anything was too ridiculous or out there. I think it all kind of like it all fit somehow.
Yeah, even the ridiculous stuff is like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense here.
yeah, I had a little bit of like, is this too much about like the psychedelic mushrooms or whatever? And I thought, but it really fits.
Yeah.
I mean,
And if it was, we could just be like, nah, X card, I don't want that, or hold.
Yeah,
But we can always take stuff out.
yeah, right.
Turns out everyone's very pro mushroom here.
Well, we don't have much else. I thought one thing I really learned to appreciate about this game, when I heard it was going to be about like adventurers retiring, and like in my mind, that's like that's the story of somebody who was doing things and then they stopped doing things. That's not really what this story is about. It felt like it was more about like people maturing.
Yeah,
like people sort of stop being
things.
so self-centered and instead being community-centered.
Yeah,
like, and that's a really, in some sense, revelatory vision of retirement in some sense for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, let's see. I think I'm gonna look at some memories. I know some of them were like really sweet.
Well, you're looking at that.
I think my absolute favorite thing was just all the like every time your sword came up, Thea or Morgan, that like I'm gonna remember just like those imagined moments I had of like those lost arcs of Berserk where he like spends like 2 pages flipping pizzas. That's gonna be amazing.
Yes. That's where it was all going before he died. We just we just didn't know. Just didn't get a chance.
Hey, guys, if you're at all into, sorry, Mark, if you're at all into reading fantasy, so I'm pasting in the chat the link to Legends and Lattes. It is basically this game in novel form. Like it's why I wanted to play this one so bad. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. So check it out if you want to.
Travis Baldry.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't know anything about that person or what anything else he's written, but it's a really cool take on fantasy. So yeah, and there's also some good it's progressive. It's got a lot of interesting stuff in there.
Nice.
It's described as a book talk sensation.
Yeah. Well, right, and I actually, in spite of being
said he worked
age,
on Torchlight. That sounds familiar.
I do watch a lot of book talk TikTok videos. So there you go.
Yep, same.
Go ahead, Mark.
I'll go last.
You kids in your TikTok.
Yeah. I super enjoyed this. I played it with our usual Monday night group, and we played it over 2 sessions, which was a lot of fun. The like compressed time of this one was super cool to see. Just kind of like getting the whole thing. I think like Morgan mentioned, like D&D and stuff, there's often a sort of goal that you're going towards. it feels like it's the same kind of thing here, only the goal is different. The goal, instead of like we're gonna go kill that thing or get that thing, the goal is how do I learn how to do these new things for my old things? And once we've got all the new things done, we did our goal. It's just that like aims in a different direction, which is really cool. I really love the observation, like going from like the self-centered adventurer to the community oriented town person. That's really cool. Everyone's characters were great. I just love how much detail and depth you can get and like connection in such a short time. It feels like the thing I noticed about this last time I played too was it feels like this game like takes all the cool parts of like a months-long campaign of D&D or something and just like has the cool fun things and without all the math, which is also fun sometimes. But it's just like, oh yeah, like and this cool thing and this cool thing and this cool thing, but for a reason and in a kind of direction, instead of just like let me tell you about my character. So that's a really cool thing about the game, and about how like everyone like really, it's a great group, and everyone really like played the game. And just like did the thing instead of like, I don't know, this is dumb. So it was really cool, and like stars to everyone for just like jumping in and being game.
Gold star.
I loved it.
I was really afraid too that I was gonna be. I was afraid that I was gonna be in that like, this is dumb mode, but I wasn't at all. It was like, and I felt like that was just because everybody was so on board. It's like, cool, let's do this. Oh, and I do have a wish. So an important part of the book that I keep mentioning was that, and something that I think would be interesting and might add to the game, is that the old adventuring life keeps intruding on the new life.
Interesting.
But like, it's sort of like a little bit like Thea's story, like, trying to let it, it's like, I'm trying to get out and they keep dragging me back.
Keep dragging me back in.
So it's not just that you have to learn these new skills from your old, you really have to extricate yourself from that. Really so cool. that would be an interesting add to the game, I think.
I think there's a lot of things that I'd want to, if we were going longer. I know specifically things that I'd want to keep bringing up. I know like in my character introduction I said specifically like I was on my way to go kill a monster, and then I just sort of stopped.
Like, that seems fine.
Sometimes that happens.
And then it's like maybe that gets brought up again. And I know one of the mini games was like romancing an NPC, and I was like, I kind of want a romance book.
Oh, that would be so sweet.
I want to go from.
That one's really fun. The breaking up the fight one is also
like
really
I
fun.
think the length. So I think the length we went was really good for this kind of game, but I could definitely see going longer, and I know specifically what I'd like to do if we had gone longer. So and I think that's really cool. I like having games that you can kind of get a variable length with them, sort of depending on your own personal pacing and time constraints. So.
I can also see using this game sort of like in the middle of a longer game to like, well, we're going to go to this tavern, and okay, now let's make this tavern that we all go to, and then like we're going to have then like the other your regular D&D party goes and stays at this tavern for a while or something. And now you really
that'd be a great way to like if you're like in between sort of campaigns to like for whoever's DM to be like, oh hey, this is a thing that kind of got generated by doing this tavern thing, and now we've got a new campaign to go wandering off.
It feels like the world we created is like so rich, like there's still so much more story in it that we can like imagine and think about, instead of just like, we're tired, we wrung everything out of this, we're tired of it.
We didn't even get into the whole two cities.
I was wondering if that was going to come up. I was like, but the guards thing was really interesting.
Well, we'll see if we'd done breaking up a fight. Obviously, we would have gotten into that.
Stephen Bruce, The game is really like replayable too. Like this is completely different from the last time we played, and there's so many different both town occupations and adventure occupations, and like it's just, I could play this many times for sure. Awesome. Well, any last questions or anything about the game?
Nope.
Cool. I'm gonna post, there's a playtest feedback link. It's in the chat. If you feel like providing feedback, great. I think they'll put your name in the book. But yeah, otherwise this was super fun. Thanks for
Good
playing,
times,
y'all.
guys. Thanks for
That's
a
great.
fun evening.
Yeah,
Nice
it's
to meet
always
you all.
fun to
Seriously, that
play
was a
with
lot of
Ryan
fun.
and Morgan.
Yeah.
Good playing with you finally, Adam.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
Cool. I'll
Bye-bye.
catch y'all next time. Bye.
Catch you on the flip side. Adios.